Sup guys, Bernardo Tavalaro, True Talk BJJ. Today we're gonna talk about weed. Not only weed and the effect or anything. It's just a subject it's like one day I want to do about surf too, right? It's a subject that there's a lot of people that do it, even more in California and United States, that nowadays California's you can use, and it's recreative and anyone can buy it on the places. And a lot of fighters, or some of the fighters, are open about the use of it and about how it helps on the recovery and everything like that. And we're going to talk about that subject, and we're going to talk about the life of our guest today, Lucas Leite. If you guys don't know who it is, again, the same thing I tell you about Leo, right? It's like you're on the wrong sport, because he's been fighting for a long time. He's the, by far, I tell you, it's my opinion, by far the best half guard that there is in the sport. And when he competed, and still is, really, really effective, because he was a middleweight and he'll fight heavyweight and still won pretty much all the titles that you can win in the sport. Pan Am's, Worlds, gi, no gi, all that stuff, you know? And the reason that I have him here is because he's one of the first persons that I heard about considering the use of weed, and we'll talk about it and have it like as in, and he'll tell us all the time, like, hey, this for recovery, man, it freaking helps me, you know? And used to make fun of him and everything, like, whatever, you just like it, blah, blah, blah. He's like, nah, man, it really helps the fucking, like, how my body and the, like, recoveries and stuff like that. And now it happens a lot. Now we have the option of CBD and THC and stuff like that, you know. And but that's a little subject that one of the few subjects that we're gonna talk about, right, Lucas?
Yes. When Bernardo asked me to come into his show, and he told me that he wanna talk about that, I was a little bit concerned. Because I was never a guy that I have my opinions about it, all that new, medicine, people that use to as a medical use, and people that use just for recreational. And I told him, I hope you don't be disappointed about my opinion. For those that know me, know that I use cannabis. And I start totally 100% for recreational. And when I start, at first, my family liked to smoke weed. I already knew that from before when I was grow up. So I never had that, oh my God, I can't smoke. My family can find out about that. No, actually, I remember that the first times then I start smoking, the school, whatever, I already did jiu-jitsu, but I was not like competing or anything like that. But I was the one that told my mom about it, and she didn't believe. She said, "Nah, Lucas, you're joking." And I say, "Man, how crazy is that? People always, I had a lot of friends then they used to use weed, and they always scary about their moms to know about it. And I'm here tell my mom, and she doesn't believe." But anyways, that's a little bit about how I start. So I don't know if that was good for me or not. And that's what I want to discuss a little bit here with Bernardo. I don't know if the fact that my family used to use, and my family never told me to not do it. They told, yes, of course, no exaggerate, watch out, everything. Yeah. But I don't know how that was good or not. Okay. Because sometimes I feel like how I can say that? I sometimes I feel like I wish I never had it before. I don't want to lie, Bernardo. Sometimes I wish that I really enjoy, but sometimes I ask myself like if I never had it, you think I was missing? I don't know if I was missing right now or not. That's the point, you know. And this is about jiu-jitsu, so I want to talk a little bit about jiu-jitsu. I will.
So on not interrupting, but like you said, it's like maybe sometimes you wish you didn't start it, but as I see for the long time as I know you, it's like I don't think it ever you so people understand, right? Like I don't think it ever affects your performance or anything like that. But people need to understand too is people that don't know him as in a personal way as most of our guys know is you pretty much trained more than everybody, right? So like I think that's the whole thing. Was that like something that because mentally you're so scared of dying on the
Gas
out on freaking the competitions and so you train a lot more than everybody else, or it was because of the use of the cannabis that you're just like consciously you're like, man, I'm freaking, smoking, so I need to train more because you needed to compensate, or it actually didn't have anything to do with that?
No, definitely have to do it about that. I felt like when I was using, when I was smoking weed back in Brazil, and then when I start to want to compete,
Yeah.
okay, so just to people understand a little bit, I trained jiu-jitsu before I was introduced to the weed. I started little, but I never compete. So I stopped a little bit, and then the skateboard culture, the hip hop culture was very strong in my generation, in my city, São Paulo. So I kind of embraced that skateboarding, the hip hop culture for me, and the weed was totally together. But then when I start to compete later on, I felt that I have to train more than everybody in order to balance out the fact that I like to smoke weed. And again, back then we didn't have any information about the benefits of weed or we know what is bad, but we didn't have any information.
Yeah, you probably had it, but nobody really believed. Everybody probably thought was like, it's just an excuse that this person wants to have to freaking smoke pot, right?
I be honest with you, I didn't had in my mind
on your mind that was good.
Oh, that's good for me. I still don't have that. That's what I wanna. That's what I told you before the interview.
Yeah.
I hope you guys don't disappoint. I really don't think the reason I smoke is for medical use or because I want to cure something. I don't believe that. I mean, I believe in other people.
Yeah.
But and if they tell then, or like you say, like any medicine, if you have a extract very specific for what you have in the in cannabis, we have the CBD, so most of all things that they say cannabis help you,
it doesn't mean it
90%. No, but 90% is related to CBD. That you have a little amount of CBD when you smoke, but you have a lot of other things. I was never a guy that used because I feel that that's curing me about something, but I really enjoy. And that...
But you felt the difference on after, like when you moved to America and you started doing like training too much than everything, you felt the difference a little bit. Because for example, right, like we have our friend Punch over here online, right? So we had the story that one day you were talking about him. It's like, Pancho, we have to train more. When This is like back when only you and Pancho lived in America, and only you guys training. He would tell,
Oh, just me and Pancho,
yeah,
from
Pancho,
the team.
yeah, of course, yeah, from the team, and you guys would come and be like training like crazy, and Pancho's like, man, I'm so tired, and you guys got in an argument. He was like, well, if you didn't smoke weed and if I freaking help you like that, you couldn't train, and you're like, well, no, it's not. And he was like, okay, stay a week without smoking. Then on the fourth day, he said that he started noticing that you take a long time to get in the car. Then one day he came back and you were like in the restroom hiding and smoking from you. Was that like the first time you started noticing like, man, this shit actually helps me to freaking recovery so I can train how much I want to?
Yes, I think it helped me stimulate me to want to training. It's something that happened with me, but I know other people then they don't have that feeling. Once they smoke or if they eat some edibles, they want to stay home, lay down, you know. And I don't gonna lie, I think for me, making me, I don't know, stimulating me in a sense that I want to do something, you know. I want to do something, and I think it starts when I used to skateboarding. I really enjoy smoke weed and do skateboard. I really enjoy. I feel more relaxed and I feel more lucid. And when I start training to compete, and I was a lot of times doubt myself about, no, I have to stop to smoke, and I stop. You know, I don't know if you know that, but I never smoked before a tournament in my life. And actually before camps, I used to you stop sometimes a good 1-2 months, you know. Later on, I stopped a little bit less.
Yeah. No, because I remember when you went to, I don't know what year is that, like when you went to help BJ, then he told you, was like, Lucas, the problem's not the THC, it's the smoke on the lung. And you were like, taught you how to do the butter and shit like that. So you like, then later on, even you and the other guys from the team, like you guys stop it because of that. But I think that's something that you have on your head, you know. That's like, I think because you're so worried about the gassing out or doing stuff like that you always worry about.
I used to swimming a lot because they say, no, I'm smoking, so I have to do something else
to compensate.
To keep my cardio up, because we have that in mind that if you smoke cigarette, weed, whatever, they're gonna compromise your lungs and your, you know, the lungs capacity, the oxygenation, you know, towards your blood, anything like that. So, but I have to tell, you know, the days or the weeks that I stopped to smoking, I felt myself much more aggressive on the mats. But make me not enjoy the training as much. That's what I want to come and here to say, like, because I'm one guy, then I really enjoy training. Maybe I wish enjoy a little bit more compete than training. So for me, I always get very nervous when I compete. I mean, I compete all my life. I can't say I didn't enjoy to compete. I enjoy compete, but not as much than I enjoy to training, you know? And maybe what I think what's happened with me, I really enjoy be with my friends before the training, you know, drink some coffee and smoke some weed. That making me enjoy the training. I'm not here to say you have to do. I don't think is a good idea.
No, that's your personality. Yeah, why you do
my personality. Yeah. I really start to enjoy. And then we have a group of people. Then we used to hang out before the training, and you know, it was something that I really enjoy. So I like it. That's the thing. I enjoy that. I didn't use because I thought, oh, I'm gonna train better, or I'm gonna train worse. But I enjoyed the moment. I really enjoy the moment of be with my friends, drink some coffee, smoke a little bit, and roll.
Yeah.
and roll and roll and roll and roll and roll.
Uh-huh.
I really enjoy that,
Yeah.
And sometimes when I used to not smoke, or sometimes when I want to stop because some competition, I lose a little bit the joy of the training, but I think it was also important for my competition game, because I was a little bit like, man, I was training. I don't want to lie. I was training better sometimes when I'm not smoking,
Yeah.
but I was not enjoy as
The training.
much the training. But I don't think that maybe it was good for me to sacrifice a little bit. But the big reason why I did smoke before I train, it's because I enjoy, and again, like, we can open a discussion here, Lucas,
Yeah.
but are you regret? I don't know if I regret or no. And that's why I tell you on the beginning, I say, like, I don't know, maybe if I never had smoke, I will never know what is feeling to have these moments, and I will never missing that.
Yeah, but on the other hand, like I ask you, it's like after a while you start realizing that actually it helped your body and the recovery and things like that. That naturally, like you said, it's like there is, or like even for the fact just for the better sleep, right? Like when I take CBD, I really enjoy it because the thing that I feel the most, the difference, is the sleep, right? And if you think about it, that's on physical training or any sport. That's one of the major part of anything is the recovery that you get from sleeping, right? And I don't know, because I think you guys probably start feeling that, like you say, it's like before it start a lifestyle, but then slowly you kind of realize it's like, yeah, this is some. It helps me a little bit on the physical part, on the recovery part.
With the sleeping, definitely. With the sleeping, for sure, it's helped a lot.
Yeah.
I never had a problem with sleep
Yeah.
unless I stopped to smoke. But I mean, again, we also talk about some withdrawals from
Yeah.
the drug. So I don't know if I was able to, because one thing about weed,
Yeah.
and I've been reading that, and I feel the same. If you smoke at night, you don't dream. You don't dream, or at least you don't remember a dream.
Yeah, but that's good. Because
I
that
don't
then,
know. I like to dream. Sometimes
because they said it's like you dream on the part. If you remember your dream, it doesn't mean that you hit the deep sleep part of the part that you're really resting, right?
I don't know. I'm not a scientist to answer
Yeah.
you that, but I definitely know that sometimes I like to dream and remember my dream.
Yeah.
To try understand what my unconscious is try talk to
Telling to
me
you,
or
yeah.
telling to me. But definitely, I'm not a big fan of smoking before sleep, and that's what is weird, because helping on my sleep, but
Yeah.
I don't like to smoke and lay down and sleep. I like to be
Stay
active.
awake, active.
Exactly. And that, so it's very hard for us to tell that what's actually doing for you, what benefits have for you. I don't know. Like I say, in my case, I was doing for joy, because I enjoy to training when I was high.
Okay.
I
Probably
really
because when
enjoy.
you, like you said, like when you started, you doing the skateboard, so you used to smoke and probably active right after. You're not. It's not that you're pothead. You like, because probably a lot of people that start smoking, they smoke, then they do just hang out with their friends and sit on a couch and be like, all high. So I think you probably got that relation to your body and to your brain. That's like when you smoke, you're doing an activity. So then when you start doing jiu-jitsu, it became the same thing, like pretty much like.
Yes. Yeah. I felt like that was the feeling, and then if that helped me, making me train more. Yes, definitely, because let's say sometimes I train the competition training, and then after I lift weights or whatever, lift weights early in the morning, and then 12 the competition training, and sometimes I was tired, and I didn't want to train at night.
Okay.
And then sometimes I go and smoke a little bit and making me want to roll again. That's definitely the helping for me a lot of times. And not just with me, I know some friends that also tell me the same thing. That sometimes they at night and they don't want to train, and then they smoke a little bit, and all of a sudden they want to roll, you know?
Okay.
So I guess it's different for each person. So on that point, it's helping me. But I can't tell you that it actually help with my recover. I'll be honest, I don't think so. Helping me to sleep? Yes. And if you don't sleep,
So
it's bad for your
so
recovery.
indirectly, it helped you because it helped your better sleep and everything.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah,
Yes.
you're saying that you personally, you're not those kind of guys. They're like we know a couple of people. There's even freaking like Jeff Glover, right? Like it's the sun for him. Weed. It's like everything it's based, and he thinks the best thing ever in the world, and it's like, oh my god. But if you think about it, I think that's the difference, right? Like I told you, I think personally, and man, if it's like to have a better career than you did, like again, it's like what the fuck could you? The only thing that I don't think you won was freaking what ADCC, and that's it.
Yeah, but Bernardo,
No, you understand, but it's like, but if you think about it, but man, fuck, man, it's really hard to do what you did, and the whole thing is
but
this.
I don't think you can relate weed or no weed. If you
No.
if
I'm
we
saying
talk
because
like
no.
that,
Yeah.
we're gonna say okay.
No, but then
so
I'll-
we're gonna start to use coke and
No.
becoming the best player in the world like Maradona did.
No. Like I'm not saying that it helped you. I'm saying it didn't affect your performance because, like you said, like you had the conscience of like stopping before, even before IBJJF. Because I remember this, even before IBJJF got like started doping, and you like you had this thing. It's like I need my lungs to be clean, so I have the best thing.
It's not just about
like,
the lungs. It's about the sacrifice to.
But then on the other hand, like I'm telling you, like for example, right, you had that conscience. Jeff Glover that probably smoked 10 times more than you fucking do. His career, he was like, when he was upcoming kid, everybody was like, oh man, he's amazing. I think his career was messed up because he smoked so much weed. Because it's like, because I think on his side, it had that effect. You know, it's like he played so much of like, oh, it's the weed, or yeah, weed. That's like, I don't think he had the focus or he had the drive, and he was like too much. Then he started inventing like, oh, I like to do this crazy game. Then he became too much of a Cheech and Chong situation on jiu-jitsu. That's like, in the end of the day, it's still a really highly performance or like a high perform sport. So you have to balance out. And I think, like I said, on the to the guys listening, is like, you're the guy that trained the most, and because you had this thing on your heads, like, shit, man, if I'm freaking smoking, I better fucking train more. And like you said, it's like sometimes you be tired and you smoke, and it kind of pumps you up, and you're like, okay. I think for him, he was a guy, I think, that was affected by the way that he fucking, you know, like I think it was, he was probably a little too much.
We don't. First, I'm friends with Jack
Yeah,
Glover.
no, I'm not talking shit about him. I'm just talking about like what I think about what happened to him.
We don't know if he, you know, how was his discipline. We don't know if he was partying. I was never a party guy. You guys know that, you know. I was never a big fan of party. So I mean, I'm not saying here Jeff Glover is a party boy, but I just say we don't know, you know. We don't know if we have it, you have it.
Yeah, we don't know if there's others effective.
Exactly, you know, the indiscipline, you know, like, I mean, I was never a party boy when I was competing. I still not. It's not just my thing. Do I enjoy sometimes go to the party? Yes, I enjoy. Other thing that people don't know, you probably know, I can't handle alcohol, you know? I can't. Did I drink before? Yes. If I start to drink, I have to force myself to drink. Yes, but I'm not enjoy alcohol. So I don't drink. I didn't party. I party very little. I was party before I competed in jiu-jitsu, but after I becoming black belt, even on the brown belt, I totally stopped to party. I think maybe because I used to party when I was very young. You know, my culture with my friends from my neighborhood, we used to party 15, 16. So party was thinking then when I was competing for years, man. I have probably had periods of 3-4 years without drink one beer. You know, sometimes I had problem with my ex-wife because I didn't want to go out. I just want to go train, come back, come back to the apartment. So what I'm saying is we can't just, okay, this guy smoke weed and, oh, he did so well. I think if he's not smoke as much, he would be better. Oh no, this guy doing so well because weed helping you. Everybody have your history of all, and first, it's not just weed, have people that party or maybe their train regime, what they do or not. I think maybe Jeff Glover, I be honest with you, that style and how I really enjoy, people enjoy watching him, and he was a world champion no gi too. He was always competing in ADCC.
No, he's an amazing fighter.
And maybe that style that he's created, I don't know if you notice, but people talk a lot about the leg locks attacks. Now he was one of the first ones
to start doing that.
Because we used to compete at Lepri Quest. Me, him, Lapella, Bill Cooper, and that Lepri Quest you could do anything. It was brown and black together, no gi, heel hook, whatever. You just cannot punch. I think even slam from close for triangles.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember that, but I think so. And he was a very creative and for me he was one of the first ones to attack the legs. Then I saw, remember he had one fight against Robinho and he got the leg lock of Robinho. Robinho didn't tap, but was like, oh man, because Robinho for me was like a god, like nobody is untouchable. And then I saw his leg lock straight. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
He didn't tap. He won the match.
Yeah, Robinho had just come to American.
Yeah, but at that point I was saying, whoa, who is this kid? And then you have that figure that very open about his lifestyle, very, he's at least in my view, he have his life is an open book, Jeff Glover, But again, everybody is different. I was drive a lot of my career by competition. And I'm one guy, then I need compete, not just on the competition, I need someone to compete with me. So if it was with weed or no weed, I need some friend. Then is that, the hate and love friend, then you like, but you want to do better than your friend. This helping me a lot to training,
Well, Lucas, anyone that trained with you from the old school guys, that it's not that you have one friend. You pretty much have the mentality of all of us.
Yeah,
it's not you. I'm just letting you guys know that's it's not that he's telling this like he has one or two guys. You always had the mentality of everyone. Like, for example, you and Lapella, because you guys know each other so long. When Lapella comes, it doesn't matter. You have to beat him. Then when the guys from Brazil come, you have to beat like Palito or Baiano because it's like, oh, they're coming from Brazil to get me or stuff like that, And it's like. Then Pancho is the same thing. There's like everybody, you have this, there's always a reason for you to do that.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is like Bill Cooper is this. It's like, I think you had a different mentality. So the use of cannabis didn't affect you so much. You understand? I think personally how you see Bill Cooper, because he's an open book kind of guy. I think he took too much he became too much of a hipster and enjoying too much the cannabis and the use. So I think that made him maybe not be so, because when he, like you said, when he was young, man, he was doing grappler quests. He was like ADCC. He was doing all that stuff, Then after a few years, you can see that's he starts not caring anymore, not going to competitions. So yeah, maybe we don't know what personally happened to him, but if I feel, my opinion, not talking shit, people do whatever they want with their life. I think that maybe if he had, for him, right? Because we had different styles, different effect on different people. Like you said, it's you smoke and you'd be like, maybe I'll train a 7 today, Maybe for him, it would be I don't think I'm going to train today, And this is maybe one day we'll have him on the show and talk again about this and from a different point of view from another guy, right? So I think that for him, he was like that. I think his lifestyle, just because it changed so much and he became so much and
if you see, we're coming from a different culture. It's nice to talk about that because look, I coming from Brazil around 2007. That was, I compete against his buddy Bill Cooper, also another legend for me. Like, but I competed him first time 2004 and purple belt, and I already used to smoke. I was not smoking before tournaments or before the camps, but I like weed. I remember one time we compete, me and Bill Cooper, in Las Vegas, and I asked him to join after the fight because I know he knew it, and he gave it me. But anyways, the culture now, we talk about two kids from Santa Barbara, California, where that subject that we talk about that in Brazil now, they were talk about this on the 70s, so they are 30, 40 years in front of us about, open up and be honest about use. Like, again, I'm not a defender of weed. That's why maybe that's the difference too. Like, that's the first time I talk about that. But I'm 100% favor about legalization and recreation weed, yes. But I'm not the guy that's gonna tell you, oh yeah, smoking the bong, got dab, almost die, and no, that's good for you. I think it's bullshit, you know? The same thing then, okay, they say, I always compare with wine. Wine, you always have that wine that, like, okay, wine is good for your heart. Oh, wine is good for your heart. Yeah. It's from, it's from Christ to drink wine, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's one type of wine. It's not a fucking bottle.
And then we have the alcohol, it creates a lot of problems. And I think weed will be like that too, like weed can be a problem. True, and people have to know that, some people cannot smoke weed. Some people it's gonna affect their life in a bad way. Same thing than wine, maybe one guy drink wine all his life and the dinner and no problem, but some other guys have huge problems with alcohol, so, but that don't mean we're gonna ban alcohol. No, that's why I feel like still in the world right now, a lot of injustice, with the weed, with the users of weed, again, we talk about a drug that was always, at least for us in my generation, was like bad for you. Yeah. It's the open gate for the drugs. For the other drugs. And I don't agree with it. I think the alcohol it is that drug, No,
definitely.
But even then, I don't think alcohol have to be banned. But I just think, I got drunk before I get high. You see your family drink alcohol, the drug alcohol. You see your family drink
alcohol
from when you're 4 years old.
Yeah, alcohol killed more people, way more people than freaking weed kills no one.
Yeah, but we still, have some people that cannot see that. Yeah. See what about people gonna use weed? They use for a long time. Why don't legalize? Why keep, unlawful? You smoke weed. It's still in this country is unlawful.
Federal.
Yes, but it is that we are in the United States, so it's still not clear enough. Okay, we are in California. Yes, we're California, but if you smoke weed in a national park, and the guy got you in the Yosemite Park, and he sent you to a national court, you can be arrested. Oh, okay. That's a good way, guys. Make sure you guys don't smoke weed on national federal parks, national parks, because it's illegal. Because
it's federal law.
Yes, and if you got a ticket, got a ticket from your car in a federal park, you go to the U.S., you go to a federal court. Okay. You have to pay the U.S., not the state of California. Okay. If you got caught smoke weed or with 10 grams of weed inside the national park, I don't know how it's going to be the officer, but if he can arrest you and send you to a federal court. You can face jail time.
Oh, okay.
So it's still, even on the United States, illegal.
Yeah.
And that's I'm against. Mm-hmm. Why? Because
just the harm that drug dealers and all the crime that drug dealers happen, it's like, it's not even open, right? Like, I think for example, the Colorado came first in California, where like Colorado was like, California already has like medicinal and stuff like that. Slowly, yeah. It was like kind of like, oh, you can, but you can't at the same time. Colorado was the first one to come and be like, hey, recreative. And I remember that after that, I think like after a year, when they complete the first year, the Colorado collect all the tax like for the state. I think it was like $1 billion from all the farms and the license and everything. Then a few months or a year after, a bunch of other states started legalizing to have like either recreational or medical and everything because they saw like how much money, instead of being illegal money running through the state, it could be legal and it could be done and the state can make money out of it, you know? And like you said, it's like, it's the same argument of freaking banning the guns. If the guy that's walking to a church to kill 500 people, he doesn't care if where he gets the gun. You know, he's not going to worry about like having a legal gun to fucking kill someone. You know, so it's like banning the guns, it's gonna do nothing. It's the same thing weed. It's like the guy that wants to smoke weed, he's gonna smoke weed. It doesn't matter what happens. Like when they ban alcohol in the 20s, like 1920s over here in America, you know, in like 1930s, whatever. It's like people are still drug dealing alcohol. People are still drinking, finding a way to drink. You know, so it's like,
Actually, was how Al Capone make a lot of
yeah, a
money.
lot of money. Yeah, there's a lot of the gangs and all that stuff start really bad in freaking America because of alcohol. You know, and it's like I think like I never use uh weed or anything. You know, because it's like I don't know, and I was never like felt like it or anything like that. You know, and but I have like you and even when I was young, a lot of friends that did it, but I always had that conscience like I still agree with you. It's like, man, it's like it's not a drug that even for sports, right? That's another subject that I want to go in. It's a lot of the sports, it does nothing as in performance. You understand? It does nothing to like, oh, the guy is gonna, it's not like a steroid or a fucking heart medic thing, or it's like your hormones gonna go up or anything like that, you know? But it's weird because what I heard, I'm not 100% about this, but it's like what I heard is cannabis is illegal in all the sports because it mascara and covers up other things on your urine.
Yeah, I'm
So
hearing
yeah,
about that.
so it's like that's the reason why, you know. And my next question is, do you think it should be legal on BJJ and all the other sports? Because I heard NFL, because of the opioids disease there is in America, right? Like the pain medication, stuff like that. NFL been considering to legalize the use of weed for the players because they having so much problems with athletes having the pain and everything for the football and they can't finish the season, so they get addicted to pain medication. So they think it's better to legalize weed and have the players being healthier than having them addicted to opioids, you know?
Yeah, definitely. You don't have the addicting physical addicting of weed as you have from these other drugs like opioids
Yeah.
and even nicotine or whatever. And but I think it's a good idea, if they're gonna help people to not use something as strong as so addicting as a opio pill.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely a good place to go. Also because they know a lot of players, they smoke,
Uh-huh.
they they and maybe they say, you know what, I want to smoke, but I can't because I'm gonna get tested. So you know what, I'm gonna pop a
Pill.
opioid or what's the name?
Opioid.
Opioid. I forgot the name of the pill, but for pain medication, So maybe. But again, you also gonna have cases that people gonna still take the pill and still gonna
smoke some weed.
Yeah. So it's a lot about individual,
Yeah.
and you have to find stuffs that gonna help you towards the pain. They're gonna really help and not gonna affect you as much. And maybe the weed is a good way to do that. But again, it's not by smoke a big old blunt and cough for 10 minutes. That's not health for you. You want to do that? I'm okay. I think you should free to do it because they don't going to affect nobody else. Should you smoke and drive? No. But it's not going to be affect anybody else. So you want to be just, oh, you know what? I don't care about my recover. I don't care about what gonna make good for me, but I want to get high. Do it. You know, I'm not against that, but don't lie for yourself. You know, you want to use the cannabis for medicinal situation, for a poor medicine. You're gonna have to get a doctor, or even if you take a pill. Oh no, I don't want to get high. CBD, that's what's proving being anti-inflammatory. Okay, so just take the CBD pill. That's not gonna make you high. But in my case, I like the THC. I like to get high, and they have THC pills. You control 5 milligrams, 10, 25 milligrams. You don't hurt your lungs. You get high. You calm down. I don't know. If you ask me why you smoke, I don't know. Sometimes the weed making me happy, and no, for real. Like let's say I have to travel 10 days for a seminar, for a seminar tour.
Yeah.
I really like to take my THC pill, for some reason that making me, I don't miss my home as much. I enjoy. I can be teaching for longer without losing my patience.
Okay.
If you tell me, oh, Lucas, what helped you that's what helped me. I can, like, if you're not smoking, but if you get a pill, 10 milligrams pill, very mellow and make you happy, I will be patient to teach for 3-4 hours in the row. That help. That's for me. Helping me, maybe my patient. I will be more patient. I will be more careful. I will listen you more. And sometimes when I don't, I feel like I get a little bit more anxiety. And when I leave the place, I want to just finish my job. And then we are back on what I told you, how I enjoy. Why you smoke and train jiu-jitsu, that gonna make you better? No, I don't think so. They're gonna make you worse? No, I also don't think so. But I was enjoy to do that. I like it. So, and even those days now, if I have to do a 3-hour seminars, and can I take a 5 milligrams pill that not gonna make people don't gonna notice that I'm high, I will do better in my job of teaching and be more patient. That's me.
Yeah, you.
That's me. Of course, you have to learn, like you don't gonna get it, and
you have to learn your limits and what's good for you or
exactly, not. Right? And plus you have to be used to, you don't gonna, like I say,
it's like drinking. You can't freaking start drinking 5 shots of tequila and think everything's gonna be okay.
But the different about the weeds and the alcohol, and maybe that's unfair with alcohol, but.
Maybe we should bring Punch over here to talk about alcohol.
Yeah, but Pancho, he never you don't want to see Pancho drink and teach jiu-jitsu.
No.
It's something that you don't do it. But you have a lot of people that do that.
Smoke and freaking,
Yeah, or smoke or take a pill. Exactly. I'm not saying that's a good idea, but
no.
I'm not going to lie. I will be lying if I say I don't like it. I like it. And a lot of times, they're helping me to be more patient.
Or even like you said, it's like for people going seminars, like a lot of people smoke weed because they have, even though they don't smoke, but they use either the pills or whatever they use because it treats anxiety, right? So like it calms you down and stuff like that. I was watching Joe Rogan, a podcast, and he was like, man, I never found out I had anxiety until I started smoking weed or taking CBD. And the guy was like, what? He's like, yeah, because the first time I took it, and he's like, the first week, I started realizing I was calmer all the time. So I was like, what? And he was like, shit, maybe I have anxiety. Then he took a week off. Then he realized he had anxiety. And I think people have anxiety since they're young or all that stuff, and they never realize, So I think, like you said, it's like maybe you have that tension. Like anyone you go to school and you worry about it, right? It's like people don't understand. It's like even if you're teaching for your students, you're more relaxed. Like your students already know your style. You don't have to worry about. But like you said, it's like you're on a tour, you're away from home and stuff like that. Then you come in and it's like you walk in, there's like 40, 50 people and you're like, oh man, I hope they enjoy the seminar, even more if it's the first time that you walk there. So it's natural because first of all, it's the biggest fear of people. It's speaking in front of people, right? So even more like different people you've never seen. So and people are paying for you to come over there. So you always get that, oh man, you think I'm going to show something? What they're going to think about my position? If it's like, So yeah, so like you said, it's like if you take the THC, it calms you down and you're like, oh, okay, it's like, oh.
Yeah, I feel more happy and energizing me at some way. Then I enjoy. And then something that's my thing, that's happening for me, and they're helping me to do stuff that I don't want it or I was not enjoying too much, and maybe it's good, but also it's a gray area where it can be damage for you too, because at one point I feel very like, oh man, so for I enjoy do my stuffs, I have it to be high. And that's when I felt like sometimes I judge myself, Lucas, I think you exaggerate. I think, and then I try not smoke or not do that. But when I do seminars, it's something is special overseas.
Yeah.
That helping me too. That for sure I can tell, helping with the sleep, with the jet lag.
Jet lag, yeah.
For sure. Jet lag in the airplane helping me a lot. But yeah, I mean, but also sometimes, like I say, I don't recommend people that never smoke to smoke. I don't recommend, because maybe they like too much, and then you always gonna wanna do it, not in an addicting way, because it's already proved that you don't feel that physical addiction.
Okay.
But you're missing the feeling, and that, and it's expensive. You're going to spend money, and have people then going to judge you or whatever. So if somebody never smoke, I don't recommend. Unless they say, "Oh, Lucas,
I think I need it before. I think I have anxiety
I can't sleep. I've been drinking sleeping pills for 2-3 years, and if I don't take the sleeping pills, I can't sleep, and when I do take it, I wake up like groggy next morning." And then I would say, why you don't try the CBD? The CBD for me, I don't feel nothing. I don't want to lie, I don't feel nothing, and I like the THC. No, it's well, maybe because your body's used to combine both of them, right? Because like I never smoked, and the first time that I started taking the CBD, it's like at first I was like, I don't feel anything, but then the first time that I run out of the oil, then the first few nights that I didn't had it because it was done, I felt like I felt the difference. I was like, shit, man. It's like I used to wake up and I was more rested. So I woke up and then like doing the same thing, same diet, training, everything. I woke up like I remember like the first day was okay, but then the second day, the third day after the oil was done, I was like, man, it's like, I didn't feel like it slept so good, Yeah. Then after like a week or so, I bought another one, and it was like, I started taking it again, and I felt that was like, I think I had, like you said, like you don't dream, so you go like a deeper sleep. So you probably increase the hours of your deep sleep and the part that actually rests your body. Because people think it's like, oh, I sleep for 8 hours. No, you sleep 8 hours, but you have phases, right? You have 4 phases of the sleep, right? There's the ones that your eye tremble and you start shaking and do that stuff. That's the first and the second part. Then you go the third part, that's like where you really have the resting things. Then if you measure that, you can see that's like you only spend the hours that you rest in your body and your mind and everything. It's like out of 8 hours, you're probably going like 4 or 5 hours in that. Everything else is going because you go phases, right? And then you wake up at night.
Yeah, and sometimes you wake up at night, and that cuts off the phases that you have to go through, right? So there's even this app that you can download, and it plans to wake you up at the right phase of your sleep, because by the way that you snore and when you shake and everything, so you feel like you need to wake up at 7:30. If at 7:27 you're in a phase that it's good for you to wake up, the alarm clock will wake you up a few minutes before, so you feel better when you wake up. Yeah, but I think that what makes a difference. But I think probably for you, maybe it's this, and there's like it's not that you addicted, but you got so used to like having the THC, because they say too. Some studies say that for a few things you need to have it can even be a super low dosage of the THC to hit some areas of the working of the CBD.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It can be only the CBD helps. Like I saw this one graphic of this guy that I know from Hawaii that he works with this super concentrated oil that treats cancer and stuff like that. And he put this graphic, and it's like what only CBD does. CBD with the low with THC combined, what effects. So there's not, of course CBD does a lot, only the CBD, but having the little bit of a THC helps some parts that it needs to trigger, or it makes it more powerful, the CBD for those for those areas, you know.
Yeah, I believe, like I say, I think you have to experience and do what works for you, but have to always pay attention and not over exaggerate it. Like anything, you know, even water. If you drink water a lot,
Too
you
much,
die.
you die.
So coffee, you know, aspirin. So, I mean, what don't make sense?
Do you think you
for
got that experience because once you started kind of young? Not young, but you started like young and you're already doing sport. So your experience with relating the use of cannabis with the sport and how training and doing activities with the weed, it helped you out on that than someone that like started and then they started doing things. And
I think, yeah, for sure. I mean, I started jiu-jitsu before, but by smoking and do skateboarding, I felt like I functioned well. I was less scary to try the tricks, so I pushed that to jiu-jitsu. But the big reason, again, it's the joy. I was enjoying, you know,
The lifestyle.
making my training. Yes, I feel more excited to go train. Okay, now is the train time. Gonna get the, you know, some pre-workouts, and I like to combine with caffeine, you know, and then smoke a little bit, and that put me in my zone. Maybe that's it. It helped me to put in my zone. I was not talk too much, pay attention, Leo class, training, try hiding. I try hiding, you know, people, I love when I hide and nobody knows.
yeah.
And so, and I think that put me on that situation where I start to feel like enjoying, you know, so I used to bring the guys from to spend the weekend with me and my family country house in Brazil, and I have a mat, you know, after training Monday to Friday, we used to go there, and I really enjoy to smoke and roll without that, oh, I have to be here training. No, I'm here because I want. That's what I want to do it. And that's something that I think is very important. Every athlete find out, with weed or without weed, doesn't matter. But try find joy in the training. You know, I think that's is important. Make your life easier, you know? And I mean, and of course, try bring that joy for the tournament, where it's a little bit harder.
Yeah.
You know, I enjoy the after tournament, but before the tournament, it's hard to say, oh, you really enjoy. I was not smoking weed. I never smoked before the fight. So I already take the joy on that moment.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Maybe I should try, you know, I don't know. But I never. I never smoke. And
So you don't know if you perform better
I don't know
or
if
not.
a performance or
Because I remember we had one friend, I still remember this. We're walking to Pan Am's, I parked the car. I won't say his name. We're walking up the freaking, going to this gymnasium.
coming
and the
down
guy,
from the Sierra Mountains, almost Guadalajara.
Guadalajara. He's coming smoking, and we're like, dude, you know this is the first year they're gonna test it, right? He's like, yeah, I don't care, man. I prefer getting caught with freaking weed on my blood than freaking testosterone. And we're like, oh, okay. And he made to the finals of Pan Am's, finishing all his fights. Like, I think like the first two fights were like super fast
Against champions. Yeah, I remember.
against champions, and we're like, holy shit. And on the final he lost, and we joked that he saw that he was like,
He was leaning.
yeah, So I think we joked that he was like, oh shit, I'm gonna get caught, and he was like, lost throughout the fight. But it's like maybe yeah. One day I'll have him on the show, but I'll ask him. It's like, do you think you think maybe for him, his personality, or like, do you think there's probably people out there that who definitely perform better because they're more relaxed? Because I think for your personality, Lucas, you like that tension and the freaking, oh my God. I think it's part of you.
Yeah, but again, maybe they're helping him enjoy the moment. I had a hard time to enjoy. All my life, I had hard time to enjoy the torment.
Without the weed.
No, yeah, maybe it was that, but the torment itself, with weed or without weed, I always try find the enjoy than I had in the training. Like, I have couple tournaments then I was very happy to go.
Yeah.
But most of the tournaments I was happy, but not like enjoy. Let's say like surf, competing and surf when you're competing or when you surfing, free spirits. So I always try find that be free spirits to compete.
Okay.
And I never had fun. I always, for me, was a sacrifice, was painful, was stressful, and maybe that's one of the reasons.
But maybe that's why you perform so well.
Yes. But maybe if I enjoy a little bit more, I would perform even better. Who knows?
But again, Lucas, like, how the fuck are you gonna do better when they open the video?
But I lost a lot of fights.
No, I know. But Lucas, you have to understand it's like,
I'm not here saying, he's not happy with what he's accomplished or he's not, he's being selfish.
Yeah.
But as an athlete, we always want to go more and we always want to compete more and want to have better results, like, I know, like, I like the show everybody talk about. Now it's funny because all the masters world champions in jiu-jitsu, they post, maybe next year is the last dance. Like, jiu-jitsu is kind of funny sometimes. Like,
people retired 5 times.
I have to tell that a bit. Like right now, Instagram, now it's better, but maybe 1 year ago, you open the Instagram. I couldn't open the jiu-jitsu Instagram anymore because it's the same thing. One nice picture and a nice phrase, a nice,
motivational phrase.
And then it's everybody, man. I say
everybody's the same, yeah.
And then coming one guy, then did different.
Then everybody changed.
And everybody changed, or he did different, and everybody like it, Everybody like it because sometimes, I don't think that's just in jiu-jitsu, but at one point, Bernardo, then you open Instagram, girls, guys, doesn't matter. It's a picture of the guy with a gi, talk about, he finds someone, probably, what he did? He got some picture, he put over there, and then he was finding the Google a good, phrase to put there. Definitely. And it's so not natural, it's so fake, and that's the sad part about when we come from, we didn't have Instagram. I remember before the Pan Am's 2009, I won that 2009. But I remember João Assis, he looked at my face 1 week before the tournament and he goes, Lucas, please shave yourself, cut your hair. I look myself in the mirror. And I saw that the guy then was not, maybe was even hurt for my image, but I was just think about training. We didn't have phone with picture. We used to run in the mountains after the training. We never took a picture or we never did to show people,
Yeah.
I mean, I can't be here hating about the new generation because they help the sport to grow,
No, definitely.
The social media.
No, but the whole thing, it's like you said, it's different times. Before, it was like you do everything because when you perform and you show up yourself with the title and in the magazine, that's the way that you could show yourself as being a good athlete. Now, your sponsors, and you probably know that, it's like even your sponsors, you probably have a contract that they're like, hey, Lucas, you're not posting anything. Hey, you have to post something on social media, right? Because all the magazines are dead and everything. So I think it's like,
but it's already proved. And if you be original, it's better. Like Jeff Glover,
No,
you
no,
know
no,
that.
no, no. I definitely
something
agree with that.
Good about Jeff Glover,
But you have to use social media.
his
though.
Instagram is what he is. You know,
Yeah.
I know the guy. I know, you know. Of
No,
course,
I agree with you. It's like,
and then you
people
have
need
some
to be-
people that, oh my God, becoming a good man, blah blah blah, and then he go and he's, you know, get some girl from one guy that he know, or cheating his wife or whatever. I'm not here to judge, but you know, like, I don't know. I feel like right now, jiu-jitsu becoming that social media. Like, I'm not against social media. I'm not that I'm against. I just feel like people are copying the same thing over and over. If I open the Instagram now,
everybody's the same.
everybody's the same. A nice picture talk about God or talk about, and not a, you know,
God and take steroids.
yeah. I mean, whatever. They should do that. You know. You know what? I wake up, I feel fine. I just shoot 300 milligrams of testosterone on my butt, and I'm ready to roll with my ephedrine. You know, that's be at least people were talking up the truth. You know?
It was the truth. Yeah.
And not put up. And you know what? I do the same thing. Sometimes I have it too, because like you say, the sponsorship. I say,
it
man,
became
Lucas,
something
you're
that you
not
have
posting
fucking
any
to post,
picture
yeah.
with your gi, so I have to put. But
Yeah,
I don't try cop phrases.
But I definitely understand, because it's like, that's one of the reasons that I started my podcast too, because it's like every single interview was like, "Hi, Lucas. In 2009, when you won Pan Am's no gi, you did the final," and it's like every single fucking show or someone an interview that do with jiu-jitsu, it's always the same fucking subject. It's always asking the same questions. Nobody comes to you and be like, "So what's up? Do you smoke a blunt before your competition or some shit like that?" You know, like, nobody does that kind of shit, but everybody talks about it. But they think everybody needs to be like, it's pretty much the same thing as the social media. Everybody has to be motivational phrase. Instead of being something like, I think it would be a lot better, like you said, it's like, put a picture of you getting smashed by some competition, someone, and be like, it's not every day that we can win, you know, and people, and put some laugh or stuff like that. Like you said, like, yeah, I know, but like you said, it's like, be original. Don't fucking, I think people nowadays, they try to copy things that worked. Like, for a big example, right? How many schools nowadays, on the past like 5 years, right, or more, they're white. Everybody has the metal on the little whiteboards, on the little fucking frames. It has a little plant. It has the little thing. And they're a copy of the Mendes brother gym. You understand? If you look at it, man, so many gyms are like that now. And if you think about it, it's like, motherfucker, that's not going to give you students. It's not because you're going to paint. It's like, you like it, and it's...
It's like a...
Yeah, it's a tendency of like, yeah, it's like, it's a trend.
tendency.
It's a trend of fucking... But still, it's like, be original. Like you said, it's like, be original. You understand?
Yeah,
It's like,
no.
don't try to freaking copy, because they don't understand. It's like, a lot of people that do different and actually become a success, it's because they tried something different.
They becoming great.
And yeah, you know?
Like Mendes brothers once, they did different, you know. They were
Yeah, but they did different, but it wasn't them. They had Pat Tenori and Ruka behind them, like, giving the ideas. They didn't have no idea.
But that's
I know.
the game, you know?
No,
Like,
but
you-
I'm not
you-
taking credit. The whole thing is this: it was Pat Tenori, that you know him, and the way he is, his mentality, his revolutionary. He thinks different than everybody, and he got the momentum of having these two amazing jiu-jitsu guys on top.
I remember I was
Great
there
yeah.
inside the academy
Yeah.
when they first
Great,
met each
yeah,
other.
but freaking like great teachers and everything. So it was a combine of two things.
Exactly.
But what I criticize,
in my vision,
Yeah.
they revolution for us Brazilians also the online stuff, not the Mendes online or whatever. But I
Yeah.
remember when they were purple belt, they were very worried about the image, about who's talk about who,
Mm-hmm.
and one moment then a lot of people were like, whatever, you know, like they just want to train and compete.
Yeah.
They was studying. We always did studying your opponents, but
Yeah.
they were very into on the e-commerce. Let's put like that. The
okay.
online
The
business.
they're selling themselves online and then social media.
They were, for me, for Brazilians, they're one of the first ones. I know we have Lord Irving too, and you know all his students, all Lord Irving students, they still good. Look Keenan, look Ryan Raw, even JT. JT is a little bit less.
No, even Ali that freaking started doing all the podcasts and everybody and interview before everybody.
Yeah, he really helped all the jiu-jitsu guys to understand that it's not just
make that connection.
Yeah, it's not just training hard and jiu-jitsu.
Yeah,
and whatever. But again, like you say, if you just copy and don't do nothing, you know, not try be yourself, it's not gonna be the same effect because people gonna feel that's not you. You know.
Yeah, and you can freaking copy a lifestyle of a champion and not being a champion and having like fucking talk like one, you know. It's like, because then people are like, what the fuck is this motherfucker talking all this, but he never won anything, you know. It's one thing you have like you, Buchecha, Der Galvão, those guys that have a bunch of titles and be like, motherfuckers, wake up early, go run, or some shit like that, and people read it and be like, oh, okay. Another thing, it's me telling you like, hey people, go run so you can win. People read it and be like, motherfucker, shut the fuck up, you know. It's like, but like you said, it's a trend, so people think it's like they can do it too because that's what the champions do. And they don't understand, it's like, the champions did, but they back it up. You understand? It's like people don't see like how much you trained. You understand? Because I remember too when you fought Crone, and that's another, people don't understand, but he put ice cream because of nice dreams from Cheech and Chong. So Americans know more than Brazilians that he loves some weed. So that's the reason why he named that school. Because it's the same drawing from Cheech and Chong, the nice dreams. It's ice creams, but they spray painted. It was this movie from Cheech and Chong that like these two potheads that had a ice cream truck that will sell weed instead of ice cream. So that's why it's a cone. And the cone from fucking making a big blonde with a fucking cone.
Yeah, what I hear is that ice cream, because he have to be cool as ice cream to all the pressure, then he have to be a Hickson son. That's what I hear back on the time.
No, because ice cream melts under pressure.
Yeah,
right? And well, true. So I think it's more because of that. Like he made a little bit of a mix. Let's put it that way. But I remember like when you got him down or something, or before you got the takedown, and Hickson was like, he's tired, and the fight had just stopped for you guys, tied your belts, and you look and you're all pissed, like what? It was like an honor for you to be like, man, I could lose, but I can't be tired, you know. Yeah. I think that's always been your thing. It's like you're always being like fucking like, I can fucking die, but I will never be fucking tired.
Yeah, for me it was unacceptable to go to a tournament and lose because you get out. That never happened for me. The times that I lose, I was 100% myself. Maybe not mentally, but
physically.
Yes, I always was there once and another. Then you fight sick, or because I have that thing. I always get sick before the tournament. Not always, but a lot of times. And I don't know if that was from my head or overtraining or all that combined.
Definitely from your head.
Yeah, I don't. We don't know. Maybe my head to force me to train a little bit too much, but we learn, and especially now, now is a time in jiu-jitsu that is, I don't know if you notice, but we are in extremely change right now. Extremely change. Yeah, I think we are changing more now than any time of the last 15 years in jiu-jitsu. That's my opinion. Why? Because first, we have a no-gi and gi different. And was always there, but now it's more noticed who is more a gi fighter than a no-gi fighter. I blame, sorry guys, I love you guys, IBJJ, but I blame IBJJ. Yeah. Why? Because
they never give the same value, huh?
It's not that. Look, it's just about the rules. Let's put like that. IBJJ never had a no-gi tournament. Okay, back on the days.
Yeah.
I think the first no-gi tournament they did, I was competing, was 2008. the World No Gi 2008. Marcelo Ousado won the middle heavy, one of the first Brazilians to become a World No Gi champion.
Yeah, I remember that.
I lost for Popovich. But anyways, before that date, always when we training without the gi, we used to do heel hooks. In Brazil, I remember André Galvão used to do heel hook on me every training. And I becoming good in defense. After he tapped me a couple times.
And even that time, Grappler Quest was big too, right?
Yeah, but even in Brazil was no Grappler Quest, but the tournaments then we didn't have too many no-gi tournaments, but we had the ADCC, and that was legal.
Yeah.
So my point is, every time then we took the gi, and Leo Ambraza, he did a lot of no-gi training. Especially in São Paulo. São Paulo was no-gi training back in the days. You have a little bit in Rio because the guys from MMA and the Luta Livre.
Yeah.
But in São Paulo was a lot of judo. Well, like nobody training no-gi. Back in the day, like 15 years ago, it was just us.
Yeah.
It was just Leo, Leo, I learned a lot, and I love no-gi. I always love no-gi. But what my point is, we always training with heel hook. I remember Leo showed me how to defend a heel hook. I remember how Galvão and Robert was there. Oh my God, he did the twister, and me, I even know what is this. He showed me the twister. He did growing locks, heel hooks, everything, and I was prepared for that. It was not my game, no, but I was prepared for that. The moment that IBJJ start to do it, no-gi tournaments, and say heel hook, it's illegal. Ripping the knee, it's illegal. Doesn't matter what belt are you, even on a black belt. The moment that they did that, we start get worse and no give. Why? Because right now we have a ADCC. Then is I talk about a Brazilian guy in Brazil. Okay, you have ADCC then every 2 years. You barely have Lepri crash in Brazil. You don't have too much tournaments in Brazil. Then allow heel hook and no-gi tournaments in Brazil. Yeah. So if the first no-gi tournaments, I know have some ones I fought before from Luta Livre guys, once and another.
Yeah,
I remember Marcelo Garcia fought one that was famous, and Goitacazes, remember?
Yeah. The Luta Livre guys did.
The Luta Livre,
Budo something,
but it was once a year, and
it was their tournament that they would do, and everybody.
But then IBJJ start to put on their calendar or their agenda the no-gi. So basically we start to have no-gi tournaments every month in Brazil. But no one, it's allowed heel hook.
Yeah, so, but you know they're coming. They're gonna do heel hooks, right?
I hope they do it.
Yeah, because of that, because exactly what you're saying, they're gonna come back. They had a meeting, not a meeting, but they email all the professors on the mains gyms. They're gonna start doing brown belts and black belts. Heel hooks are allowed because we're losing public, and we're losing, like, people are getting. They don't know the game anymore, so it's like they're losing their little, like you said, it's like a lot of the jiu-jitsu guys used to dominate, and now there's people that specialize only in no-gi, so they want to change that. They want to bring the public that's more the Americanized public and everything, because of wrestling, because they love the heel hooks and everything. They became more popular. They want to bring to us, so they're going to start allowing, and I think they should too. And can I say something? Even no-gi, all the belts. Because you say, like, oh, it hurts. Man, it doesn't hurt. Heel hook, even before you get hurt, it's already hurting anyways. It's scary. So it's like people tap way before. 90% of the time that you tap on a heel hook, it's way before.
Like
Kimura is because you show that you're scared. Armbar, you hold it and you pop and shit like that, and you always tap late. Because you're not so scared.
Yeah, but then they say armbar is hard you go to a surgery because armbar. But a Kimura, you can easily go.
Oh, yeah.
You tear the rotator
the rotator cuff. Sometimes you tear, but you're still training, and you feel a little bit of pain, and you have that tear for a long time.
And then one day you have to do surgery because the Kimura.
Yeah,
definitely they should allow, because they help us be behind. When I say us, I say people that train with gi from Brazil or from America, but people that people that not it's basic people that are really following the IBJJ mindsets and rules for and I don't think it's bad, it's fine. But now you have 10, 12 years of people that train and is much more well prepared for escapes and heel hooks attacks and leg locks, and then we have now black belts, world champions maybe, I don't know, but then you do a heel hook that they
don't fucking know it. Yeah,
stop,
yeah.
oh that's ugly,
Yeah.
oh how come you let your, I have people then coming from Brazil, man, kids very good, they coming to, I was helping them to stay here to competing.
Yeah.
And then I have Sundays, then I did no gi, and they were so surprised. Then I let my students play heel hook.
Heel hooks, yeah.
They
Fuck it.
thought it was wrong. I say, no, man, I'm
No,
sorry,
man,
you
it's
wrong.
fucking right. Yeah.
Because
Do you think the no-gi became so popular too in America? What helped is because if you think about it, a lot even back in the day, right? Like Grappler Quest and all this stuff, they'll paid money, right? And you think that helped because like Americans who put more the no-gi tournaments and they'll pay. So the no-gi tournaments started being the ones that you can make money. So that made more popular, and now it's still a trend of the fucking no-gi and people making money out of it. So
I think that's one reason. And although also the no gi training is more related to self-defense and MMA, and especially if you don't know what it is, you like,
you don't have the pajamas on, huh?
you don't have the pajamas on, you don't have the grips, you don't have the lapel. So it's and if you go to a MMA school and have a plane of MMA schools, they are more, they have gi, but they are more about no gi, especially for the professional athletes, you know.
Yeah.
So I think that all the MMA public, and it's a huge public, they look more for the no gi, you know.
Okay.
For gi, you really have to enjoy and you have to be a pure jiu-jitsu. So I think the gi take a little bit out the MMA public.
Like the UFC, you're saying like the UFC fans that want to start, the UFC fans, that Bellator and all those guys that like freaking want to start training jiu-jitsu, so they come in and they're like, I don't want to do with a gi, I want no gi one because I wrestled a little bit when I was a fucking kid or something.
Exactly, and it's much more related to self-defense, to fighting, you know, than the gi, you know, especially those
and
days.
even on the beginning too, it's easier to survive a submission than a fucking gi because if someone grabs on you on the gi, you don't know what to do. It's fucking,
gi's hard, man. You feel, you know, feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You know, like
you have to spend money on the beginning too, like fucking shorts, basketball shorts and a t-shirt, you're training fucking no gi.
Yeah, the people cannot hold you, you know, like I love gi too, I love both, but I mean, I think the no gi, I think it was like when I just got here, 2008, the no gi was huge. The no gi class was much bigger than my gi class.
Yeah.
But I never teach at MMA school. I teach for BJ Penn, but that was just 2-3 months. But I never spent 2, 3, 4 years teaching at one MMA school. Always I teach at one Jiu-Jitsu school. But so I can't speak about MMA public as much as Jiu-Jitsu public. But long after, I'll be honest with you, I think after Mendes, you know, I think they were big enough to change that.
Yeah.
I feel in California, people start to like gi more. Like on the 3 to 3 years, 4 years ago.
Yeah, but I have to correct you on this.
Students.
I think what happened is this, right? How I see you on the time, like you said, when you first got here, no gi was bigger because if you think about it, how many grappler class they had? They had like 5 or 6, you know? And you have grappler quest, you have the other one that give the sword. What was it? Naga, right? So you have those tournaments. So you have two.
But they both have gi and no gi.
No, I know. But then it's like you said, it's like it's more popular. But the ones that will give gi, like João Assis beat Saulo, beat Xandi on those tournaments, you know, like because like you competed in all those tournaments, the little GP and everything. They were the first ones to bring people. It was the no gi tournament. They'll bring the guys to give money, right? So that was the one popular ones. And if you think about it, IBJJF have like Worlds and Pan Ams, you know, and Grappler Quest and Naga were doing tournaments and giving swords and giving the belts and stuff like that people wanted more. So I think after the era of the opens and start doing more and more tournaments, IBJJF start really putting like more times and more tournaments in America. And if you think about it, Naga kind of died out and Grappler Quest the same thing. Then IBJJF have more financial power. They start taking over. Then I think people, because IBJJF don't have so much no-gi, people had to do the transition. More people started doing freaking gi at the same time. And now I think the no-gi came back so strong the past few years. One, like you said, you have like the MMA public. So like if you think about it, UFC went to Fox first, right? A couple of years ago. Then now it's on ESPN. So the guy drinking beer on the fucking sitting on the bar, they're like, yeah, man, I want to train. But then like he doesn't want to get punched in the face. He doesn't want to get fucking kicked. So then he thinks like, yeah, man, I think I'm gonna do jiu-jitsu. You know, it's like I can defend myself. It's a sport. Blah blah blah. It's easier. I'll like, boom. He goes to the no-gi class. I think that helped that no-gi starts going up, right? And the success of all the non-Brazilians too to the sport, you know? Because if you have a hope of someone, if you're from a country and you have someone that's like champion from your country, you see as in like, yeah, I can do it. If he can do it, I can do it. You know, so I think that helped a lot too. Like
definitely.
Yeah, because if you think about it, like you said, like Bill Cooper, Jeff Glover, those guys were fighting no-gi way before. Yes. Ding Lister, even even freaking one thing that pissed me off. It's like, well, Josh Barnett was one other guy, and freaking like even Gordon Ryan. Look, not Gordon Ryan, but Gary Tonin. Gary Tonin was freaking fighting no-gi, and he was already famous way before even anyone know about Gordon Ryan.
Yeah.
Right? He fought Lapella like 3 or 4 times, you know, and he was already like, he would fight IBJJF, he would fight everything.
Yeah, then he felt himself better at no time limit. Yeah. And I'm going to be honest, Phil, it's hard to beat that guy on that rule, man.
Yeah.
You know submission
only, yeah.
Submission only, no time limits. Yeah. Man, he can beat a lot of world champions on that rule set. Yeah, I believe, you know.
Yeah, I don't think he does well. I don't think he does well with his score points and shit like that. Like it's.
I don't think he doesn't want to help style. Himself sometimes. You know, like I saw that fight against Kron Grace in China.
Yeah.
In my opinion, you know, I'm a big fan of Gary Tonin.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, he threw away the victory because I don't know. I one day I want to ask him that, but I know he's gonna answer. He's gonna say that if he's not fighting for submit, it's not for him. It's the same that he's not fighting, you know. And I have respect that. But at that moment, he was beating Kron by points.
Yeah,
Kron was on bottle. Was less than 1 minute. He tried a heel hook from the top, fall back.
Shit.
Kron didn't tap. Yeah. And now you have Kron all pissed off on top of him and end up to get his back and choke him.
And nothing to lose, right? He was losing points anyways.
In the other hand, I have to respect Gordon Ryan in the sense of show, man, because that was one of the best fights I ever saw in my life on ADCC. Was Kron and if you saw the fight, you're gonna understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, I saw it.
And was so good because Gary Tonin tried finishing him on the heel hook when he didn't had to. You know, I mean, I don't know how important for him was to finish Kron compared to him.
Yeah, we have to understand, like, if he had beat Kron, people would be like, oh, shit, right? But if he had finished Kron, it'll make a big difference, I think.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, that's why maybe he not doing so well. Not that he don't do so well. He not have
strategy.
Yes, and now he does better. I saw the last ADCC. He was not doing these mistakes.
No,
he won. He won the title. You know.
Yeah.
He was young too in 2009, but that match I was like, I was remember to tell. I think I was tell João and say, man, this guy, he just showed the victory away because it was 4-0 for him. He was on top. Kron was not able to sweep him. Was not finding him.
Yeah. Oh no, fucking him on top. Fuck that. Yeah.
And then he threw himself back to a heel hook, if I remember. And then Kron got the 2 because he come on top and defend the heel hook. Plus got his back. And he was still losing the match. On the last, he's still losing.
I think he got on the gillet. No,
he didn't sweep. He got his back. It was 4-3 with Kron on his back. and on the last 5 seconds he tapped. Even if Kron ended up on his back, he would win the match. Because it was 4-3, you know, and then he tapped on the last 5 seconds. I mean, that's what he make who he is, you know?
Yeah.
So
his style,
yeah.
No, it's always, man, his, like, I think it, Gordon, it's a little bit like him, but he's more of a strategist, and he does the same things, and he does like a perfectionist. He does really well what he does, and he goes for finish, but he knows how to manage the points.
Yeah, he spend much less energy than Gordon.
Yeah, he makes, you know, but man, fucking Gordon is like Gary Tonin is. It's a show, man. It's always fun to watch him fight. It doesn't matter who. That's the whole thing too. He's not that kind of guy that's like, oh, if the guy has a specific game, it's not gonna be fun. It doesn't matter who's on the other side.
Yeah, even his last fight against, I forgot the name of the kid.
From
Fight to Win.
Fight to Win. Oh, yeah.
I don't know, but the fight was good. I thought the fight would be not so good because the other guy is very good, but he had more a conservative style. Yeah. But Gordon was able to, you know, Gary was able to put up a hell of the show, you know.
No, man, he's fucking
you know.
Oh, against Dante Leon.
Is that Dante Leon? Yeah,
yeah, it was an amazing.
I thought the fight would be a little bit, because Dante
style. But you can see he does really well because for him those rules are amazing. Because every time you go for submission, you freaking like, man. He was in Hawaii when he fought Davi Ramos. Oh yeah, fucking killed Davi Ramos. Davi Ramos was like fucking dead, and the kid had a fucking engine on him, so he would just like. And the scrambles, he's so good to freaking scrambles with the fucking his wrestling and shit like that. But he's a showman, like fucking. Yeah, so it's super really fun to fucking watch. Yeah,
to see him fight and. Yeah. You know, and like I said before, we are in a huge moment of change in our sport. And you know, everything, the way then we teach is changing. You know, I don't know if you notice, I have 2 academies, so I have a lot of students. I've been teaching for a long time. I have black belt students from white belt to, and also have guys that just show up as a black belt. And on the past year, with all these BJJ fanatics, I have my DVD too. If you guys want to check it out,
you have but you have no. You can definitely promote yourself. You have DVDs. 3 DVDs, right?
But Gordon Ryan coach.
Yeah,
I forgot his name. Dan Hander.
John. Yeah.
I had a class with him when I was a blue belt in Reigns of Gracie, but that's okay. But he's doing a little bit what Mendes did.
Yeah,
they chant the way.
People train,
train and teach jiu-jitsu, you know, and I even tell my professors that say, look, if you have opportunity to watch that, you don't have to copy the style because sometimes maybe it's too slow. Not everybody is a big fan of have one guy that very, you know, very pay attention on the details and everything. But the sport is changing, Bernardo. Brazilians can be mad or no. It's changing, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
We have to involve. I don't say we need to cop, but
no, we have to follow the trend.
You have to follow the trend. You have to learn and try incorporate what is better for you. Because right now, I have students that show me position that I never see before. Because they spend monies and monies. Like I have a blue belt,
buying DVDs from people that you never heard about and fucking watching.
They learn. You know, they don't. Maybe they're not gonna be able to do it because one thing is to know the position and teach the position. Another thing is to do it. Yeah. But that's okay because maybe you can be a good coach. Yeah. And that guy is one guy. Then the Gordon Ryan coach. I never seen him competing.
No, he never compared.
Showing being an amazing coach, you know.
Well, it's kind of debatable because it's this. He's famous for Gary Tonin and Gordon Ryan,
but for the way that he teaches.
But I tell you this: those 2 guys into purple belt, I think, or brown belt, they're Ton de Blast students. You understand?
I know that.
So it's like, I give him credit, but I always told everybody, you know, it's when I first saw
why
him,
people
but I want
consider him
well,
as
so
the,
such a good teacher.
so they
I'll tell you
respect
this.
him?
Of course, but I'll tell you this. He's probably knows a lot, no gi and leg locks, and he studied that game that nobody. He was ahead of time studying that game.
Not just leg lock.
And
You
this
see
no
how
no
he
no no
teach
no
a
no
back attack.
man,
I
you
had these
freaking
students then. I say, man,
Lucas,
and
Lucas.
I can be hated. I see students like, man, your back
No.
attack is good.
Yeah.
And I love attack the back, and I teach a lot of attack the back. And they say, yeah,
Yeah, you
man,
know,
I've
but
been
you know what?
watching that
You know,
DVD.
yeah, but you know what's the difference on him? The biggest difference is this. If you watch the DVD, he talks like this. He's a psychology major, right? Degree. So the secret of his teaching is this, right? He teaches everyone. It doesn't matter if you're Buchecha or you're a white belt. He teaches everybody, every single position, like you're a white belt. Because what you don't think and we don't think is this. Sometimes we got so used to being obvious a few things like the angle of your hand, how you make the grip, why you pull the elbow, and you do that kind of stuff. It's so obvious because you already know people have a level of jiu-jitsu that when you teach, maybe for 20 guys, 15 guys know that's obvious that your hand needs to be palm up. You understand? But him, every time he teaches in every position that he teaches like someone never did jiu-jitsu before. You understand? That's why even when we watch his DVD, we're like, oh shit, that's a good explanation. But it's not that we learn. Sometimes we don't learn something new, but we enjoy the way he teaches because of that. You understand? He makes like, when you do this grip, look, the angle of my hand. Then you look and you're like, oh. And you're like, oh yeah, shit, that is true. But like, we do it as a natural way. And we forget because we're so used to the competition and freaking doing stuff and doing things and teaching and doing competitors that you think we let things go and we forget that, man, we don't know if everybody knows why you do this grip this way. So I think what we have to learn to him is treat every position that you're teaching like a white belt. Because one thing, it's not going to make a difference for someone. And if you're teaching and there's 20 guys and 5 of them don't know about that grip, and because you took your time to make sure people know why you're doing the grip that way, it's already worth it. You understand? That's his difference. It's not that he's amazing. Because if you watch his DVD, like the open guard secret, you see the positions that he does, man, that shit doesn't work. On the highlight of the DVD, not talking shit. I'm just saying this like, it's so simple, the position that he teaches, you're like, what the fuck? It's like, man, that shit doesn't fucking work. You know? And it's like, but the way that he teaches is what makes a difference.
Yeah,
that's why that exactly. But that's what we need to understand. And even more us Brazilians, what makes the difference is because sometimes of the lack of vocabulary or the lack of the English, or even because it's not the lack of English, it's just like we don't feel confident about. I'm not talking about me because I'm confident about my English. It's true. And I like to talk a lot when I teach, right? And I understand because I saw him, I was like, man, because I watching him, I was like, man, I thought I used to talk a lot, but this motherfucker talks a lot. And I like it. I was like, huh. That's why I noticed that. I was like, you know? And sometimes you go teach people and people get like, oh man, this guy talks so much. But it doesn't matter. Because sometime one day, maybe on that position, it's not going to make a difference from the black belt, the purple belt, the brown belt. But in the future, when you come and you teach something and you make like, hey, like the coyote, like the angle of your knee right here, push a little bit more. Then one of your students is going to be like, oh, okay. I didn't know that, you know? Or you're like, you make a little detail, everything is going to be better. So it's like, we have to trust to talk more instead of just being like, hey guys. But again, I think his style and the patience, I think we that used to compete a lot, we don't have the patience so much of all the details. We think it's obvious. I think because he never competed and he was always a teacher and a student of the jiu-jitsu, on his head, he stayed with that. You understand?
But it's not just him, you know, who other guy then it's very easy to understand
Yeah.
when he's playing Keenan.
Yeah.
I don't know if you.
But Keenan is the English. You understand? He explains a lot. That's when you come as like the English makes a difference.
And all that style, I think, starts with Lord Irving, you know?
Yeah,
That's.
probably because I think Lord Irving grabbed all the styles on the, like, so many people will come, and you remember this, like, before people were like, you guys are here, but like I remember Fazato was there for like a month or 2 months or stuff like that. Then the Mendes were there for like a month or so before they could be able to stay. Durinho was there. He would take everybody. Understand? And he's a commercial guy, so he's smart too. He been to Brazil, like he was one of the first guys to go to Brazil and stay in Brazil, compete as a black belt over there. So I think he noticed that the difficult, I think, from the translation that he needed to tell people, and he's probably like again, he's a nerd of the sport. You understand? Him and freaking John, what it's like they're like studied, like they want to know why. Because they know they need to know why you're doing this.
But that's the thing. I think now, instead, people, because I see a lot of people like kind of hate on that, because special old school people, I think they are maybe insecure about the change that it's happening. And
we can't hate the change. You have to learn with the change.
exactly. And use for you what you think is going to be good for your school and what is not. And like I say, I like to do an active style class.
Yeah.
You know, I don't like to change that. But I know some class I try be more, you know, a little bit less active, more talkative. But I not wanna change my complete my style of teaching, but I wanna try use what I learned from those guys, Keenan, Dan, Gordon, guys that I noticed that have the ability to express themselves and to make you understand the position in an easy way. I try use that to my students now.
Yeah.
You know, I have couple of my professors. I have two professors, Erickson and Christian.
Yeah.
These two guys are like that. They study a lot, and a lot of the students love their class more than black belts world champion class.
But again, it's I think it's a cultural thing, because I think we're like in Brazil. It's like, hey, we're all competitors. We're teaching competitors. People are just like, hey, just freaking do it. This is what you do. This is where you grab. You go. You do this. Go. You know, even Lauzino, sometimes you like, we're, and you've seen this, and then I notice sometimes like he does stuff, and on his head it makes such much sense, but then he tried to explain, and everybody's like, it's like, what? And some days he comes and he explains to you, and or like even one-on-one, you ask him something and he let you know, and you're like, oh shit, never thought about it. But like he knew, but I don't know, on his head he think everybody knows, and it's obvious for us. You know, Americans are so, Brazilians, they rely on the talent. You understand? They think it's like, man, fuck it, improvise, do your thing, right? Americans are the technicians. That's why drilling became so big too in America. You understand? Because for them, it's a repetition. It doesn't matter if it's basketball, football, it's all about technique, right? They're technical. That's why they don't do so well in soccer and stuff like that. Because soccer, there's a little bit of a technique. Everything else, it's improvising and trying new things and going wild.
As you see, the Germany teaches.
No. Americans, right? But basketball, all that stuff, they're always looking for the right way to do it. And instead, it's like they study a lot. They do. It's part of their culture to like study plays, how you play, how that guy do this, how that guy does that, you know? And they're like, back wrestling, they used to bring the Russians and freaking study, do repetition, do this, technique. You know, they're technicians. Brazilians are just like, do your thing, you know? And I think that's why Keenan and Lord Irvin and Dan and those guys, they're changing this, because it was something that for them it's obvious, because they never had it. So once they got all the knowledge and everything and they became teachers, they're like, oh, they're combined both worlds. You understand? They combined the experience of the jiu-jitsu, the competition, the knowledge, and they made it like, this is how you teach. So you understand? Even your students, like you're saying, sometimes they have a better class because on their head, they're used to the, look, this is what you do, this, that, And for us, it's just like, we show like a percentage of the technique and the position, and we assume that the students are going to know the other 30% or the 20%.
We do a lot of specific trainings.
Yeah. We definitely have the improvise, do your own thing, create your new position.
That's a Brazilian
fight.
thing.
Yeah, fight with your heart. Don't fucking,
Even the Brazilian serfs, they tend to be a little bit like that.
Definitely.
They have their own style.
They own their own style. They like, sometimes they complain. They're like, a lot of the Brazilians, they were criticized because they thought they looked ugly surfing because the way they stand and stuff like that. But then they will have results. Adriano Souza, man, he was like that. People were like, man, he looks so fucking ugly inside the board, but he would do so well competing and he'll get results. It is what it is, It's like, it doesn't matter. But now we dominate the sport, and I think that's what, like you said, it's like that it's making a difference now. And I think, like you said too, it's like we need to adapt to that, because if you think it or not, it doesn't matter. It's like, it's more natural of our lifestyle, even in the country, right? It's like, you can go to Lowe's in Brazil and get a freaking nail to hang a picture that weighs 15 pounds. Right? In Brazil, you get a nail, that's it. Over here, you go to Lowe's or Home Depot and you can go to the guy and be like, hey, I have a 5x5, 15 pounds and a half picture that I'm going to hang on 2 different things. And the guy will be like, okay. He comes with the screw and a thing specifically for that. So it's like, here we go. And even jobs, people are specifically doing one thing. In Brazil, it's like, fuck, man. It's like the country and all the things that we have. You have to improvise. You're raised by improvising, because you can't find the stuff, or you can't find the tool, or you can't find that, you don't have that in the country, or you have to create something. I think we are more like of improvising on the go, just fucking go. And I think that's why Brazilians, they have the style, and we still dominate more the sport on the gi. It's because of that, because like each person create their own style, or each person do their own thing for their body. You understand? So then it's like, they're freaking go. They'll go. You don't have to stop every class and be like, man, you have a longer arm, try to reach for the shoulder. The Brazilian will probably just reach for the shoulder and be like, hey, can I freaking do this? And the Americans are more like, professor, is this right? Look. Oh.
Where exactly?
But yeah, exactly. Be? It's like, but I can't do the position. And you're like, man, you're like 6'5". Just kick your leg. Look the size of your leg. It's like, but because of that. But on the other hand, they bring new positions because they're so like, I found this technique. Look at this position, And if you think it or not, it's like we have, because we're doing more years and years, we have better fighters and stuff like that.
They break down the position better than us.
Definitely, because they have the technician kind of situation, the cultural wise for the sport, right? So it's like they do more. Like freaking wrestling, it's like a few positions, but it's like repetition. Go, do it again, go. And if you see Russians, they have a different style. You know what I'm saying? It's more hand fight. Boom. It's creating something. Feeling. Yeah, feeling. Boom, 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 boom. Americans head to head. Or it's California, like folk style, that's like from far away doing their thing, But it's repetition at the right timing, physically. Just go. So it's like, I think we have to learn a lot. Like you said, I think if once we combine the knowledge that we have from years and years, from the generations of coaches that we have, if they learn how to freaking do that, one person that the people they tell really good stuff about it on the seminars, it's Cyborg, right? I mean, if you think about it, Cyborg is not known to be the most technical guy, but they say his seminar is really good. maybe because he spent so many years here, he got used to that, in the sense of like, so maybe I never seen one of his seminars, but maybe that's one thing that he does on his seminar. He's like, he introduced that. Let me explain everything really well. I don't know. Maybe
I never went to a
yeah,
cyborg seminars, but I saw he's showing some positions.
yeah. You know,
Yeah, I think he have that combination very well.
yeah. I think I think we need to start adapting more that combination. You know, I think we need to be more. I think it's not even that we are not able to do it. We're able to do it, but I think we're just, it's not our style. So I think we get more bored about it teaching like that, and we got worried about like, fuck, am I talking too much? Are these people are still paying attention, instead of like, relax, do your thing. You know, people like it. If they don't like it, that day, the next position, you tell a detail that people will be like, oh shit, okay. And I think that's why he likes his DVDs, and that's why his DVDs are like 5 hours long.
Cortou?
Nah, a little bit.
No, yeah, definitely we have to adapt it and try evolve, you know. And but again, it's important also people don't change their own style, because if your students
Like
are
your style.
with you and like your style, maybe they can handle have one guy talk so slow, and you know, maybe for me, I really enjoy the way that Leo teach. When we moved to Leo Academy,
Yeah.
I remember like sometimes I got bored because he asked us to do a lot of specific training, you know. But in the end, I feel like my jiu-jitsu, it's so much better because I had a coach like Leo to, you know, force me to start in a specific way, and sometimes we even had sparrings, you know.
Yeah.
And we always missing that sparring, you know. So but for me it was very good, because I'm one guy, then my problem was never sparring. I always have energy to sparring and training. My problem was have patience to go over the technique, to repeat the technique, to train in that technique without coming to my A game all the time. So that Leo style of teach was very good for me, because I was forced to do specific training, to try positions that I did well, and not just roll. Of course, later on, I was like, oh man, sometimes I say, man, I just want to roll. But that helped me a lot, you know. So I'm trying to, of course, using a little bit of my style.
Yeah.
But I try to always, every class we have specific training, I show the technique. I show the same technique or the same concept for 3-4 weeks. I still doing what Leo did for us. And I just try put a little bit more sparring. I think I feel like that's a little bit more my style.
Yeah. Yeah, but like you said, if your students are happy with your style, it's one thing. I think, like I said, like we need to learn is just like, maybe if you spend like 3 minutes teaching a position, go up to 5, or like if you do 5, go up to 10. You know, it's gonna change a little bit, but maybe, you know, more people like it, you know, and try new things. Yeah,
Try and learn the techniques that people been doing.
Someone asked you, with the leg lock games nowadays,
Who is asking?
someone on the live, and do you teach the leg lock, like specifically leg locks, or when you do no gi, or is just, it depends on the week and things like that?
Depend on the week, of course, but was a tendency last couple years, last year. So I was using the no-gi class to show leg locks, even that I'm not the best, it's not my game.
Yeah.
But I'm trying, just like any another professor, you know. If you are high school professor, if you are college professor, you're going to have to teach something. You're going to study a little bit. You don't going to show up without, you know.
No, yeah, definitely.
And of course, when I have to teach my half guard, it's one thing. I close my eyes and I teach, you know. But but I don't want my students rely on just
Yeah.
half guard, you know.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I show so much of half guard when I do seminars
Yeah.
or privates, then I don't want to show. I'm tired of half guard, you know. So, but then I go and say, you know what? I'm gonna do that 3-4 weeks of heel hooks from the honey hole, you know. I'm not the best at it, so I'm gonna try study. You know, I'm gonna go to YouTube or go to a friend or a student and be studying that. Oh man, I'm doing that way. Oh, I saw Gillis, you know, or Craig Jones or whatever doing that way, and then just by teaching them, and you know, sounds like, oh man, so he's teaching, but he's not sure. It some people are like that, you know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I remember one time Robert Drysdale, when I started teaching here, say, Lucas, even he said that for me, even then, if you don't know or you're not sure, don't tell them. I swear, that's what I told him. He said, look, doesn't matter if you're not sure, tell us you have sure, because that shows security, you know.
Yeah.
But sometimes, you know, like we don't know everything, you know. But I don't want to be a knockhead to, oh no, guys, this leg lock is an ugly game just because I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, I've been
No, it's not that you know. It's you know some like it's not your specialty or like you don't know how to defend or anything.
Exactly,
It's
but
not
for
your game.
someone that been training jiu-jitsu for 20 days, for 20 years, and 1 week, it's easier for me for who's been training than some white belts learn, you know.
No, definitely.
And then I can give my view and what I think about the position, and then we go from there. But it's important to like 50-50. I hated 50-50, but I have to teach.
Yeah. And even more like sometimes, like you said, like sometimes your students come to you and be like, hey, I went to a tournament and someone did this. And if it's your game, you ended up having to study that game to
Man,
to
I
improve.
saw the BJJ. Man, I have to say that because people gonna... Man, I'm sorry, but I be enjoying more watching fight to win than any another tournament. I saw the BJJ
stars.
I saw the BJJ star. Every single fight
ugly
was
fight,
on the 50-50.
Yeah.
And was ugly. I mean, it's my opinion, guys. The athletes, man, they good off. Not all the fights are being exaggerated, but a lot of fights was all about 50-50. And I feel bad myself because I say, man, I'm not good at it. I'm not good at teaching. And I have one student, Christian, again, that he's super good. And even the Lunas, you know, Matias and Mateus, they good on 50-50. So I ask them one position, I ask them another position, I watch, and then I show my students. I force myself. I say that because that was one position that I really forced myself. The leg locks, I enjoy to learn. I've been enjoying, I've been studying now, I've been teaching. But the 50-50, I don't enjoy to learn. I don't enjoy to do it. When I'm inside, I just want to left that place. I don't care if the guy is being my back, but I hate it be there. Because I feel trapped. I feel like I come on top. I feel my knee is in danger.
Yeah.
Second, I'm trying the leg locks, but with the gi, you know, you have to put so much power, and it's so hard for me, in my opinion, to find the edge of the foot. And then when I see the guys try do a foot lock on my calf, and I'm doing on his calf, and then when you see 10 minutes pass by and we still there.
Yeah, nothing happened.
So I have to force but I'm forcing, you know, I'm forcing myself, and I'm doing a little bit better on the 50-50 because I was like, you know, I have to learn a little bit more for I can show more students. Yeah. But again, like
it's part of the voyage of jiu-jitsu, right? It's like you need to freaking learn new things because the sport evolved, right? It's like you can't be like freaking
50 lapela.
No, man, 50-50 it was only a few guys doing. Then now that's 50-50 and lapel is just fucking killing the game.
And in Brazil, they're using a lot.
But it fucking sucks.
It sucks.
Like you said, it's like a lot of the fights, sometimes if the guy is winning, he's just going to stall. And it's really fucked up because it's like 50-50 with the lapel. The guy's so stuck. That's like... Then the guy feels so stuck too that he's like, man, I'm not going to move. You know? And he started playing fucking.
And
you need to do
even on
something
fight
about it.
to win, when it's submission only,
Yeah.
the guys get there and they keep doing like the fake foot lock
Yeah.
to try get a point from the referee to try win by that attack. And when you see, man, it's like 80 minutes pass by and they both on 50-50. I mean, like, I don't know. I really enjoy watch the fight to win. Of course, I think they still
Could improve some stuff.
improve on the referee because I still believe like and again our team was benefit sometimes
sometimes,
for
yeah.
that and sometimes not. So I'm not here I'm not complaining. I just think that I love to watch it, the show. I really enjoy. I'm not a big fan of watching matches, but when it's fight to win, I enjoy.
It's fun, yeah.
It's fun to watch. But of course, the referee, I feel like they do a lot of referees from the place. They just try getting some referees just to get it done without training them, so you have a lot of opinions then. You know, you never know. Maybe this guy don't like this guy, and then he doesn't know who won, but he choose someone. Because I know
like
this
he
guy.
knows this person, right?
Yeah, or I don't think now. I feel like they have a better script. Oh, these have a point. This is
This
one point.
okay.
It's not. So now it's getting better. And of course, it's a new tournament. It's not that old.
Yeah.
So we have to understand they have time to improve and improve and improve.
Yeah, definitely.
But IBJJ rules is a little bit easier to understand. You know, it's a little bit harder to have mistakes. You know, you're gonna have mistakes always, but it's a little bit more. At least you know who won the match.
Yeah, but the whole thing about fight to win is like you said, it's like I like it, and the referee, I think it's Seth could have 4 guys that he could take around and make them employee of the fight to win, because the whole thing about the rules, how I understand is this: Seth create the rules, right? And on his head is one thing what he thinks wins or not win the fight. Another thing, it's you explain what you see on a fight or what you think it's going to win the fight or not, and explain to somebody else. In the sense, like, no one ever going to have the same vision as you do, right? So it's like either then now he started putting a little bit of the rules, and he changed that, like the referees know that's a point for this or that. But again, then when that comes in, then you have to explain for the referees, hey, it's not every single fake attack that's going to count as a point or stuff like that, you know? I think now that it's like, but like you said, it's like, I think it's the only thing on the show now that I think makes the show sometimes being like, fuck, man, that wasn't fair. It's the referee, right? But I think now it's a little bit better the last few shows because it's always on same place in Texas. So I think it's the same group of referees. So I think but
it's getting better. Yeah,
it's getting better, you know. But
look, I'm gonna give you an
again,
example. I don't know if you watch Cyborg and Arnaldo fight. Arnaldo on that show Third Coast.
Yeah.
And it was a bar fight. Sorry, Arnaldo, I have to say that. I been in bar fights
but the whole thing is it's how the rules are, right? Like
that
those guys
much
think
nicer to watch a fight to win.
But exactly, but the problem with Third Coast is this: the guy created a rule because, and I can understand people trying to be different, but sometimes trying to be different, it's not gonna work. It's gonna make it worse. Like, man, for you to put 11 points on someone, Lucas.
Especially when they did a match smaller than Fight Studio. How can you know? I have to say that because I already noticed.
Yeah,
you can't score on that match. It's so small.
Like 90% of the fights, like people coming out of balance. So it's like another thing. It's like, man, for you to put 11 points on someone, you need to be smashing the person. So you can't expect from getting like top guys to fight each other, and you think that they're gonna score some 11 points on someone. You know, it's like then what happened is this. It's like they stall for 7 minutes. Then when it comes to overtime, they'll try something. You know, because then it's like, you can score 10 points on someone. You can pass the guard, mount. The guy take you out. You pass the guard again, and you still didn't win the fight. Then you go to overtime. Then the guy had a takedown on you, and he wins the fight. You know, it's like, then now the rules, it's this. People stall for the first fight, then they go to overtime, then they try something. because then they need 1 point. That's it.
I mean, I don't want to watch that.
Yeah, but I understand. It's like, and the whole thing is this: they're like, they had some matches that's supposed to be amazing, but then it's like, because of the rules, it makes the, like you said, it's like, it makes me boring. You know, if Arnaldo and Cyborg, if it was only submission only, or if it was only points, it would probably be a little bit better because they would have to try more. You understand?
Yeah, the only think about super fights only points like a BJJ, then you becoming like a 50-50 challenge.
Yeah.
Like like I saw in many of the fights on BJJ stars. Yeah, man, 50 because I don't judge them. They wanna win the match.
Yeah.
They know if
Even more if there's
50,
money on it. Yeah. It's like,
exactly, and then you make advantage, you try the foot, you know you're gonna sweep, and then you becoming 50-50, the biggest thing in jiu-jitsu because you won the match. So I know jiu-jitsu is not a good sport to watch. It's hard, you know.
Yeah, it's hard.
Like you say, we talk about 1,000 athletes and you say Gary Tonon, Canuto, you know, Buchecha, you know, but a lot of most of the people it's not so nice to watch. I don't know if you know. I don't know if
and I think
feeling.
probably
It's nicer. It's like tennis. For me, it's like golf. It's nice to play, but it's not nice to watch. You know what I mean? But if you play golf, you're gonna have fun.
And I think that's one of the reasons too. Nogi is probably growing up too, because it gets a lot. If someone wants to fight, you can't freaking stop him. Yeah. You understand?
Yes.
It's not like Gi that you can put him on a weird guard and you play guard and nobody can pass your guard. You know, it's like if the other guy wants to fight, he's gonna bring it to you.
Yeah, it's definitely more show.
You're gonna push the guy. Yeah.
No-gi. Show. Then you bring that guy Nick Royd.
Yeah.
And you put against some guy like Cyborg. He's gonna be like almost an MMA fight, you know. And it's different than put some world champion on the light featherweight against. It's nice, but you know, I mean. Again, like jiu-jitsu, I don't think they're never gonna change. I think jiu-jitsu always gonna be a sport that is better to do it than watch. You know, I know a lot of shows are doing better, and guys like Gordon Ryan,
I think it will get better when people start finding the rules and they start putting more rules and more penalties for stalling, and even more and more and more, because. Like you said, it's like you can't depend on people fighting all the time because it's so much strategy nowadays that's like I was talking to Leo and we were talking about the future of the sport, and I told him, I'm like, man, I think nowadays if you take the advantage, it'll make the sport better. At least on IBJJF, you understand? Because then, man, how many guys would just fight for the advantage? Like the freaking Lucas Valente guy. That's the only thing he does. He pulls guard. He's super flexible.
But I think his goal is to finish fights.
No.
But he can't.
He never tries. He doesn't try anything. Look at him. Look the difference between the finals, him and Lucas Lepri, and Lucas Lepri and Renato Canuto. The difference.
Yeah, no.
You understand? It's like
it's his style.
His style, exactly.
His style.
But he's a guy that maybe he limits himself. You understand? And if you take the advantage off, you have to play more guard. You have to be more aggressive. He couldn't just sit with his legs right open because he's super flexible and wait for the person to make a mistake. You have actually to do things. Right? So it's like he couldn't stall and he couldn't be like, oh, like Levi sits on his ass, wait for a mistake, make an advantage, then sit about again, then wait, play the little thing. Grab the legs, try to bend and bow, don't go up, sit down, pretend they're going to go up, sit down again. Because now they're like, it's advantage for those guys. It became a point.
Yeah, it's hard to bring the show. And I have to take my head off for sets, you know?
Yeah.
Why? Because not just about the rules, about the show himself. He changed the game, Bernardo. You can't deny that.
No, but like, yeah.
We never had any tournament with that vibe of sit down at the table and have some drinks.
No. Yeah,
and people even sell weed. I don't know. I remember I have one. They have weed shopping inside the thing, and alcohol. And then people gonna say no, but this is a disgrace for the sport. Yes, moral, but it's selling, you know, and start being the jiu-jitsu on the other platform, on the other level of people paying to watch. That's the thing. Who gonna pay to watch?
And it's not
right
even
now you have to pay towards floor grappling.
Yeah, and I think it's not even the paying to watch. I think the biggest thing too is the fighters are getting paid. You understand? So it's like the more shows like that happens, the better, because then more people will be able to be a professional fighter and make money out of fighting.
I remember FEPA from BJJ. He was
FEPA
one of
was the first ones. Yeah, he was the first.
Yes,
he did the black belt challenge in Brazil. It was like
music around,
freaking music at night.
Yes,
it was like
I stopped to think
he was the first one.
Yes,
definitely the first, because this is like 2001 or 2002.
If they sell alcohol,
I don't know, because the one in Marizias, I think they had some stuff outside, but it's fucking Brazil, so it doesn't make a difference. America makes a difference. In Brazil, I think they had beer and shit like that. But I went for the heavy guys, and it was in Marizias at the beach with like nice location at night and everything. He was the first, but he was a little bit like he has the same things as Seth does, right? Like,
I think he spent
nightclub,
spend more money.
Yeah, but he like parties and stuff like that. Seth, we used to put like small rock and roll shows in small places. So Seth will start doing that kind of stuff, right? I think the only problem with Seth, the only thing that I always tell people over here is that because he's the only guy doing it and it's part of his personality, and he's changing a little bit, right? I think he's sober and stuff like that. He's changing a little bit, and he even assumed that he was like having problems.
I don't know about his personality.
No, I'm saying what I know from what he posted, right? Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. And he's a super fair guy. He's an outspoken, like he would tell people, because like when Arnaldo fought GJ Jackson, he told GJ Jackson, so like, this is the last time that I'll pay you for a mistake from the referees, and next time you make sure you win the fight, because this is the second time this happened. And he was straight out telling you, it's part of his personality. It's amazing, but at the same time, he needs to be a little bit more professional.
Neutral.
Or on sometimes like he cheers for guys, or like he wants the guy to win, and he let everybody knows. And it's like, man, like, it's like now it got better, but still it's like, you shouldn't be like this. It's like, you're, in the end of the day, you're still business, and it's impossible, but you still need to try to pretend that you want everybody to be happy.
Yeah, it's going to be better for his show. And for
but man, like I said, it's like, I'm super grateful, even though I never fought on his show, and I'll probably never fight, but I'm super grateful for what he does for the sport, because then we have guys from our team that have the opportunity. Like this weekend, Bash is going to fight Gabriel. It's supposed to fight Keenan. He's going to fight Hibamar, and and Nachi fought, and like a lot of the guys fought over there, like the Lunas fought, and and it's amazing, because those guys, even more in times like this, it's like they need the money, and it's good. It's great for the sport, Yeah,
and it's better IBJJ start to work something else, because the way that things going, they're gonna change a lot of things in the sport.
Oh yeah, super people give super fights more attention than all the opens and stuff like that, and they only fight the worlds.
And now they're gonna do IBJJ Open in Austin, I guess. But
there's one in Oklahoma too. It got released today.
Yeah, they're gonna do in states that are very like
more open about it. Yeah.
Open about the corona situation.
Yeah, but I think
but we don't know what's gonna happen here to 2 months. We never know. Sometimes that's spiking away, then they have to close everything again. And I feel like IBJJ.
Yeah,
it's easy to me to tell, because I really love IBJJ. I make my life.
No, I think it's super important, because it has
they should do a tournament already, like it should be super fights like that, Like
yeah. But I think
they're gonna lose a lot.
They
people don't want to fight IBJJ after this corona. I know my students. They don't talk more about fighting IBJJ. Yeah. They want to fight to win, because it's on flow grappling. They don't care if they're going to get paid TV, or no.
Yeah.
They don't care.
They like the attention.
Exactly. And then you say, no, but because right now I had a couple blue belts that went there to fight, and Seth tell them, if you pay the ticket, you come in. And then some people, I don't want to pay for fight. But people been paying for fight for years. I pay for fight. Bochecha pay for fight.
Everybody.
And now what is the problem to get an airplane to Texas? And people like that. They can tell their students,
And
they,
they even
they can tell their family,
and
oh, I'm going to fight flow grappling here, that time, this day. IBJJ is hard to find someone in flow grappling compete at blue belts.
Yeah.
It's very hard. You have to be looking all the cameras, you know, have to 30 minutes before what he say.
Yeah.
So I think after the corona, I told that for Buchecha like 3 months ago. I say the sport's gonna change. Was already changing towards super fights, and now that with the corona situation, that was even
Faster, yeah.
Yeah, because you don't see any more
Because there's nothing, yeah.
All showbiz, and after that they're gonna missing. You know, they don't want to tournament anymore. You know what I mean? Like
No, and the whole thing, it's like you said, it's like you're competing on the stage, like everybody's watching you. It doesn't matter if you're a blue belt, nobody knows who you are, you know. Everybody wants that music thing. They're like, I'm gonna do a super fight. Oh, the experience, right? It's like, yeah, come dancing, doing their little thing with their music, and they do their fight, and everybody's watching them. They have the video going on. They want that experience. I think, of course, IBJJF Worlds is still going to be like super important and things like that. You know, people still want to have.
But they have to improve. If you're not going to die off.
Oh, definitely. No, I think the opens will die. You understand? The opens, and like people are still going to fight the worlds in the most important tournaments because they want the prestige to be able to tell people like, hey, I want this, you know, or I have that title, because it's still a strong name, as in like traditional, you understand? Because,
like Olympics for jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, exactly. You understand? It's like, man, if you win a world champion, it doesn't matter what federation. You're a world champion if you win IBJJF, you know, and everybody knows that because all the names and everybody that you know back in the history still win.
But you don't need more IBJJ to be successful and fight in jiu-jitsu.
I think that's going to change. I think that's going to change. Like, more people are going to worry about making super fights than anything. And I think, man, I hope more people show up like Seth and put up a show and do super fights and everything like that. And not even for the media or anything. It's just for the money. Because it's like, in the end of the day, man, you want everybody to make money out of the sport. What else? It's like you're not a professional out of your sport if you don't make money out of it. But if you think about it, there's like 2-3 fighters that don't have a gym. It's like, how many black belts do we have? Everybody fucking have.
Normally, who wanna keep that way have to change for MMA, like Rodolfo, now Buchecha, Jacaré.
You understand? Yeah. And it's like, man, it's a shame for the sport. And I think IBJJF don't understand this. It's like, the more professional the sport is.
But wrestling is still kind of the same, or no?
But the whole thing about wrestling is...
Depend what country.
Olympics. So people think about Olympics. And the whole thing about wrestling is, it gives you a ticket to the university. So, man, for you to go to Penn... For example, if you're a top wrestler and you got recruited 100% scholarship to Penn State. Man, Penn State's an amazing university. So... it's not that you're not getting paid. Yeah, you're not getting paid to fight, but it gives you a profession. It gives you a diploma that you can get a decent job from a really good university, right? So you're not making money, but you get yourself a job for the rest of your life. So even if
you study and take serious.
Yeah, of course. You can do both. 90% of the guys, they do it. What else you can't? If you're in a top level NCAA, you need to have a requirement, a GPA, to be able to play or be able to compete. What else you can't? So it's like, you know, so it's like, that's the difference, you know? And it's like, that's why people do wrestling a lot of times. That's why they do sports. It doesn't matter what sport they do. They invest so much in sport in America. But BJJ is the only sport that you're professional and you don't make money out of it. Pretty much. It's like IBJJF, 1 year they gave money for the guys and that's it. And it's like, but they don't understand this. The more professional the sport is and more people can make money out of the sport, more families, more people will see the sport as I want to compete this and I want to be a professional. So you have more and more kids and more family being like, yeah, go do this. Do it. Keep going. Then more Americans, more Europeans, more people take it serious instead of get to the black belt level and open a fucking gym. But then you don't have, you understand? It's like you don't have a point of reference as in, look at this guy. That's why Keenan's so important for the sport. Because he's the most successful Americans in making money on the gi. So people think it's like, yeah, I want to be like Keenan. I want to make money out of living out of jiu-jitsu. But still, he doesn't make any money from, like, he makes money for the sponsors, but he makes money from his website and from his gym now. Right? So the right dream.
Even Gordon Ryan, he make money more for his DVDs.
Shit. No, he makes a lot of fucking money, Lucas.
But for teaching.
Yeah. But you understand it. But that's like, but I think IBJJF needs to understand that is that they need to invest. They get to the point that they need to invest on paying guys and showing kids and Americans that you can make a living out of jiu-jitsu, because then more and more people take jiu-jitsu serious. So they will have a bigger number of people trying to be jiu-jitsu fighters. Make sense?
Yeah.
But we don't know. I think the super fights it will help a lot that. Because people will be able to fucking do the sport and make a living out of fighting. That would be a dream, you know. It's like every weekend you fight, you do a super fight and stuff like that. And you make like 5,000 every time you fight. It's like, fuck, man. It's all good. You know? But we'll see. Well, Lucas, 2 hours and 15 minutes. Probably the longest one that we had so far. Thank you so much for coming. You know, if you want to say, give a shout out, talk about your DVD, say thank you to your sponsors and things like that.
I want to thank Moya Gui to always support me. Hookah, then always supporting me with clothes. And BJJ Fanatics to give me the opportunity to show a little bit of my game. So I have 3 DVDs with BJJ Fanatics. I'm planning to do one more. And that's it. If you guys want to check it out, the bjjfanatics.com. Half Guard, Lucas Leite. I hope you guys enjoy. Thank you, Bernardo, for the opportunity to talk a little bit about. We talk about a lot of things here. A lot of things, yeah. And it's very nice what you've been doing here. That you have a nice thing going on here, and I hope you keep doing. Yeah, I'll try. Hopefully we'll get more followers and the word spreads out and we can do a little bit of a different, make a little bit more fair the way the media is in jiu-jitsu. Yeah, you need to find someone that's gonna debate with you for we can see the real Bernardo. No, I want to. Yeah, I want to. Yeah, definitely. It's like I always talk shit about Keenan, but at the same time, I'm like, he would definitely be one of my top guys to come to the show because of that. Because I wanted to see what we think. What do you talk about him? Why? What's? No, like his thing about fucking putting American Jiu-Jitsu instead of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. You know. But we did that with the Japanese. No, we didn't. We did. Bernardo. It was judo something. We changed the name. It was jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu. They did Gracie jiu-jitsu. No. Jiu-jitsu had the striking. No, yes, but was different sport. But when if there's no striking anymore, then it's a different sport. Different rules. Actually, we have to wait to see the close guard from Robert Drysdale. Drysdale definitely come on my show. When he comes to California, I'll go to the hotel that he is to fucking. Yeah, but again, if it was judo or jiu-jitsu, I don't know. Yeah. But the thing is, they put first a last name before the art. Great jiu-jitsu. Yeah, then they changed. If they did Cornelius Jiu-Jitsu, what are you going to say? And now we changed for BJJ, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And now they have the American Jiu-Jitsu. No, but then it's completely different from if it changed the rules, like you said, Jiu-Jitsu had the striking. If you submit someone, you stand up again. You get 2 points and you keep fighting. And they have striking. You understand? So it's completely different rules. So it's like judo. They had the ground, they have triangles, they have everything. But remember when everybody talked bad when Eddie Bravo did the 10 planets, doing like the people complained that he was
naming positions that people already knew, and he was giving the names.
But he never say American Jiu-Jitsu.
No. He has the respect. He's not.
But we did with the Japanese Jiu-Jitsu.
No.
Why
Different
is not
sport.
the just Jiu-Jitsu?
Because it's different
Why is
sport.
Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu?
Because it different rules, different sport. Well, it is. It changed for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu when it became a sport. You know? It was judo. Is like there's a name of the judo, and there's a.
I think it's changed for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu after UFC.
No.
Because at first it was Gracie Jiu-Jitsu.
Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, yeah. But then the sport, when the sport became, because it was CBJJ, Confederation, so it became a sport, then it became Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
So actually it was IBJJ, then put the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I don't know. You have to see that.
Yeah, I'll talk to Robert for sure.
Someone put Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and someone put American Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah, but one
He's
thing...
not the first one.
No.
Remember Mike Lehman also did American Jiu-Jitsu.
But Lucas, what I want to say is you can't defend someone having the same sport, same rules. He competes under a federation that's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. You can't call the sport American Jiu-Jitsu only because you're American. That's what he's doing. One thing is the sport from Japan, different rules. They have striking. They have different rules, different federation. It's okay to change the name because it's a different sport. You can't compete in the same sport and just call it a different name. That's what he's doing. That's my problem with him. You understand? But it's okay, karma. After he opened his gym...
But I don't think he's saying his sport is American Jiu-Jitsu. I think
he's
his marketing, his academy is American Jiu-Jitsu.
American Jiu-Jitsu.
So if you call then and say, do you guys teach in BJJ? He's going to say, no, we teach American Jiu-Jitsu. Or he's going to say, yes, we do.
Lucas.
Let's call and see.
No, go to his freaking thing and see what it is. It's Legion, whatever the name of the school is, American Jiu-Jitsu.
But you know that's not the first time that happened with martial arts.
Yeah, that's why everybody that did that fucked themselves over. Lord Irvin happened. He showed up 1 year, the American Jiu-Jitsu on his shirt. His academy was done after. It was the same year that he had the scandal and shit like that. Everybody was gone. Keenan Cornelius, that's what people don't understand. Keenan Cornelius did the same thing, right? Months after, he went to compete, right, at Europeans. First time he tapped. Fought another fight,
no, he
lost.
He tapped before.
Never tapped at the black belt.
With gi. No gi, he tapped.
Yeah. No gi. Competition, IBJJF. First time he tapped black belt because of it. So it's karma. So it's okay. I don't care. It's karma.
But he wasn't the final.
Karma. You still tapped.
No, I'm not.
You're defending. Yeah, you're a piece of shit. I'm going to cut this part off.
You see? No,
I'm gonna cut
guy then debate.
No, it's not a debate. It's just like, no, you're defending him. You're defending him because it's like your argument's like, we did the same thing with the Japanese. It's not that.
I think we did.
Lucas, it's a different sport. That's why you don't want to understand that part. It's a different sport. Go to Jiu-Jitsu Federation.
But that's the thing. Are you sure if I call to his academy and say, hey, I wanna learn Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. You guys are teaching Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu? No, we are not. We are teaching
don't know.
American Jiu-Jitsu.
So why?
I think you're gonna say yes. We teaching Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Why then did he put?
He uses a name.
So why did he puts Legion, whatever, American Jiu-Jitsu? Why he does that then?
I think for marketing.
It's still, you can't change the name of the sport.
I think he's more changing his academy. That's the thing. I don't know. I never see he's saying he teach a different jiu-jitsu. I never
said nobody asked him.
So we need to know that if he used that as a name for his academy, or he actually claimed that he's teaching a different jiu-jitsu than what he learned.
So American
from his
Jiu-Jitsu.
coach, André Galvão, you know?
So why?
That's a good...
That's not even his coach, man. He was like 500 different coaches. He
matter,
doesn't
but
care.
He had a coach, but he wasn't his coach.
Exactly. The whole thing, like, he doesn't care about the what's being teaching.
No,
because
I know. I just want to... My question is, his claim that he's teaching a different style of jiu-jitsu that he named American Jiu-Jitsu, or that's just the name that he puts on his logo?
It's not on his logo. It's on his website.
I know, but I mean,
So what do you think? It doesn't make a
I
difference?
think he's teaching Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah, of course he's teaching Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu because that's what he does. But exactly.
I know, but Eddie Bravo
that's
didn't
my
put
fucking
American
problem
Jiu-Jitsu,
is-
but Eddie Bravo
What?
claimed
what?
that he's teaching a different style of Jiu-Jitsu, the 10 planet style. And actually is a different style because some people
different
use
style.
gi pants and no gi.
Different style, but he never claims to not be Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. It's the style that he teaches. It's 10 planet style, as in Gracie family style, Gracie Barra style, Lucas Leite style.
But that's what I want to know for
different.
Keenan. So he's been faking the name because
It's not
if he-
faking. I think he thinks it's
because
like,
if he's
yeah,
really
I'm American Jiu-Jitsu.
inside him, no, the Jiu-Jitsu that I teach, because that's what the Gracies did. I changed some techniques, I improved my game, and that
the game,
Jiu-Jitsu
and
then you
change.
learn is not the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, it's the American Jiu-Jitsu. If he doing that, okay.
So why he even put
But
it on
if
the fucking thing?
so maybe he's just faking name. He's just marketing. He want to do something different.
Marketing for what? What's the difference?
They want to say, no, I'm not
No,
like
he wants-
him.
yeah.
I'm not like Lucas. I'm not like André Galvão. I'm
So
not
teach
like
a different sport.
the other 200 Jiu-Jitsu academies that have here in San Diego. I'm the American Jiu-Jitsu.
Exactly. So if you're calling yourself American Jiu-Jitsu, but then you compete on Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu,
I think if he is call himself American Jiu-Jitsu, he have to teach.
he needs to
and
open
show
a federation.
people- Yes.
Yeah, he needs to open a fucking federation
No, but
because he's
that's the
teaching.
point. That's I agree.
Again.
Exactly.
Again, if you
not,
change
it's-
the name and you don't have a different federation, it becomes a different sport with different rules. It's one thing. We could stole from the judo, we can stole for the jiu-jitsu, but again, let me tell.
So let's ask him. Let's
Oh
call
my
him and
God.
ask you, Keenan, are you black belt under American Jiu-Jitsu or Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu?
Lucas, of course he's gonna say Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but that's what I'm saying.
So
But
that
Lucas,
means his name is
that's-
fake. It's just
I don't know why you're defending him.
I'm not defending him.
You understand? I'm gonna make a special you sucking his dick
No.
online.
No, I'm not
Because
defending
you're
him.
defending him.
No, I'm not
You are.
defending him. No,
Of
I'm
course.
not defending him.
Jesus
I just
fucking
don't
Christ. So what the
think
fuck
it's
you
that
doing then?
big of deal.
Of course it's a fucking big deal.
I think he uses
Because
the
he's
name.
being fucking ungrateful for the sport. He's not. One thing is Americans. If he put it American style Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I'll be like, yeah, okay, that's okay. Changing the name of the sport for American Jiu-Jitsu, it's changing the name of the sport that he teaches. If his on his thing was American style Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I could be, oh, okay.
I know.
That
I
was
got
okay.
your point.
You understand?
But I don't.
You changing the name of the sport?
I think
No.
he's lying for his customers because
It's not lying about his customers. You understand? On his head, he think it's American Jiu-Jitsu because he thinks the whole thing about this, like he says like, oh, I created a lapel. Like people think like, oh, someone created 50-50, Hafa. No. Remember that guy from the South? Souza?
Alexandre Souza.
He used to do 50-50. Before the Mendes brother, they're like fucking purple belts. He
The
was
Japanese, you have pictures of Japanese
exactly.
for 100
So
years
it's
ago
like
doing straight foot lock
another
for 50-50.
another reason to not say that it's American Jiu-Jitsu only because he created a style of a position. You understand?
Maybe
but
he
again-
was influenced by the Gracies.
No, because the
They
Gracies
the
did
same
because the
thing.
whole thing, the Gracies changed the rules and they created a sport, so that's okay. What I'm saying is, if he creates a federation and he changed the rules, it could be really close to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. But if he changed the rules and he does something else, like
Then you're gonna be
no,
okay.
no. Of course, because look at this ADCC, right? It's a grappling submission tournament.
It's not a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu
It's
tournament.
not a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu tournament. You understand? My problem, I don't have a problem he creating and calling whatever he wants. I have a problem is your compete, your diploma, everything that you do, all the belts that you got, everything, 98% of the things that you do is from Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. You never did any other sport. But now you can only because you created one style of a sweep and shit like that, you can think
mess with the sport.
that fucks up. Yeah, you're not kidding. It fucks up the sport, and everybody just stall because that's the only thing he does. And I think, and I told you this, I think he was gonna be a great American guy, winning a bunch of times. He got so greedy on doing only lapel that he fucks himself over. That's why he never won the worlds in black belt. Because he was so greedy on winning the worlds doing lapel that's why he got stuck. Because then when he'll fight really top level guys, he'll lose. You understand? He fucked himself over because he was so
No,
ego.
I'm not here defend the lapel. I gonna tell. I think
but do you agree with me? Like,
I think they should. Actually, my opinion.
Yeah.
Guys can be mad at me. Keenan can be mad at me. I think they should ban it. Roll the lapel. No, it's legal. Why? Because you don't have that in any fight situation.
Yeah, you don't fucking attack anyone.
You don't attack anyone. Even you attack, it's just so not a fighting situation. It's so far behind. Spider guard, you can tell, okay, at least you're learning how to control the wrists of the person, then try beat you, whatever. But the lapel guard is something that you can see that technique and say, okay, that's a fighting technique. That's my opinion. I don't think, you know.
No, I understand.
I think they should.
But you understand,
just like put the foot on the belt is banned.
But the whole
roll
thing,
the lapel, ban it.
Yeah, but it's
my opinion.
No,
you know?
I understand. But you understand how
I'm
like
not defend anyone.
no,
just
you're defending that he can call whatever he wants.
Exactly. His academy.
He's a cat, but that's the whole thing. That's not the name of his academy.
So that's what I ask you. I never saw he claimed and he teach a different martial arts. Then
Lucas, if you open, if you open your school, it will be the name of the school is Fight Studio in La Habra, right? 7-Eleven Jiu-Jitsu. You're gonna open, and it's gonna be Lucas Leite, blah blah blah, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu School, blah blah blah, right? His academy you open is like Legion, blah blah blah, American Jiu-Jitsu. What do you think he's selling? You understand? That's what makes any sense. Like, you're saying that it's American Jiu-Jitsu where you teach, but you compete every single competition that you do, you register under Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Yeah. So what pisses me off is this: it's like, why? You understand? It's like, you don't fucking. I think it's being ungrateful.
And he wanna.
Like I said, he's fucking open his Lucas, academy in one place and have thousands of academies. Lucas, just put again. American style Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. That's what you need to do. You can't change the name of the sport. Doesn't make any sense.
Without creating another sport.
Exactly. You understand? It's like you can't say that you're fucking, because then you're like, you call yourself American Jiu-Jitsu, then your student go over there and you're like, yeah, you need to register IBJJF. Then the guy goes to IBJJF and then he reads International Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Federation. And he's like, what? I thought I was doing American.
I think it's more about his academy name than anything.
No, it's not
else.
Because the academy name has a name and a logo. It has to him to being like, oh, I'm American. It's like, man, yeah, you're American. There's 300 other guys that are American that do better than you. And they don't call it American Jiu-Jitsu.
Some people just call Jiu-Jitsu now.
Okay, great. It's not American Jiu-Jitsu.
And then you're going to have the Mexican Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah, and then every single country is going to be a different sport, but everybody fights under IBJJF. Put American-style Jiu-Jitsu. I'm 100%. I think that's what he actually fucking do. That's a better marketing than trying to call American Jiu-Jitsu. Because it is. He can call American style Jiu-Jitsu. I play with my friend that freaking, it's like, yeah, you should fucking do it. It's like, man, you should freaking, call yourself American style Jiu-Jitsu, not American Jiu-Jitsu, because it doesn't make any sense. You make a marketing of a sport that doesn't exist.
You have to invite him to the podcast.
Nah, he won't fucking come. Okay. 2 hours and 30 minutes. I'll probably edit. And this, where you guys listening, is just the Keenan Cornelius part that I'll probably do in a short video, and to see if I get his attention and bring him to the podcast. Thank you once again, Lucas. Thank you everybody for listening. See you guys next week.